Hello Internet, welcome to Jessie the Besties, the only show where you will get nothing but boobs breasting boobly down the halls since 2020. How are you folks doing today? Hi Vicky, hi Miss Shapen, anyone else that might be here today, welcome. The counter said that there's like 7 people currently, but I don't know. I don't trust that because like I don't see y'all popping up on the Child Garden, so I'm not 100% certain. But welcome everybody. Today should be a fun stream. It's yet another the rare reaction stream. I know, right? It's crazy. This has been like a stream idea that I've had for a while because I thought it would be really funny to do, I'm not gonna lie. Just pointing and laughing at old game theory videos. And if you can't tell from the music starting, the first one that we're gonna be watching is the Sans Nest theory, just because it's so infamous. It is hilarious, and I thought it would be funny to look back at that. I think I've been wanting to actually do this since we beat, like, Deltarune for the first time, but I never got around to actually doing that. But hey, I guess it's good timing now, because I have the VTuber, so I can do the whole reacting experience. How are you folks doing today? Hope you all had a good day. I had a pretty nice walk with a friend over to a couple of local game stores. I picked up a physical copy of not only Sonic Colors on the Wii, but also Sonic and the Black Knight. So yeah, if I ever get around to hooking up my Wii and my capture card, maybe we could play those games on physical hardware. That might be pretty fun. And I also got like a little my door is wide open. My cat just opened it with no regard. Hold on. Cat. I'm virtually tubing, Sally. You wouldn't understand. Oi. She's not even like in my room. She like bust the door open and then like left to go back to eat her food. I'm not entirely sure what she was doing, but I'm proud of her anyways. So like I said, the first video that we are going to look at today, this is all just for like funsies, really. We're gonna be looking at the very infamous theory that Sans is in fact Nest from Earthbound, hit video game Earthbound. It is so infamous. Everybody knows of the meme, even if you've never like watched Map Pat. Why was that all the way over there? What? Why was that over there? Also, hi Phoenix. Why was that all the way over there? Hold on. What is with the camera? Ah, okay, hold on. I think I know what's going on. Give me a second. Give me a second. I need to fix tits for a second. Yes, it is connected. VTube Studio. Use outline mode. Why is it all the way over there? Why do I gotta fix it? Oh, I don't wanna go through all this effort to fix it. Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. How are people supposed to throw things at me if you, like, fuck up and go all the way over there? I'm not sure why that did that. Okay, yeah, let me just shrink this down. Yeah, that's pretty much perfect. Okay, good, great. Now you guys can throw stuff at me properly. So sorry about that, folks. Feel free to throw another drop bear at my face. So I do have a couple of videos in mind. However, I will be taking suggestions on what game theory videos that we watch today. I just want to watch the more like unhinged stuff. If it's gonna be stuff with like the FNAF lore, have you seen how fucking many of those there are? There's like 80 videos of those. I ain't watching all that. I ain't watching all that. That's too much FNAF for me. I'm gonna be sitting there the whole time wondering, like, Are you the mimic? Are you the mimic? Is she the mimic? Are we all the mimic and we just didn't know it? Anyway, I think we can probably switch over to the actual screen now. Oh, I forgot to capture the screen. Whoopsie. I forgot I had it set to my totally legit Nintendo DS last time. Okay, there we go. Besties, breasties, theorists, all of the resties, it's time. Can we determine whether or not Ness is actually Sans Undertale? The fact that this is like the thumbnail too. I don't know if this was like before the whole thing blew up or like after, because you could change thumbnails and stuff, but I don't know, man. 9 years ago. Oh my god, that's almost 10 years. No, I don't want cheap views. Fuck off. Fuck off. Get out of here. I don't want any of them cheap viewers on... What the fuck is Stream Boo? You know what? That it's fine. I don't need to know. Let's just jump into it, I guess.
Can you imagine a world where we're all represented by a font? Huh, wonder which one I would be. Too straight. No, not...
Imagine being straight, couldn't be me. Also, folks, let me know how the sound is, because you know how I feel about audio balancing and stuff. Very, very particular about it. You guys good? You guys are quiet. Are you guys good? I've only heard like a single thing from y'all, and it's the fucking like Geno dance emote. And how they... Okay, there we go. All right, that's the sign that you folks are alive. Good, great. Okay. Gay font, let's go.
That way, just straight, as in unexciting.
Bitch, I'm just vibing. You can vibe and talk at the same time, it's fine.
Broadway! Now that's the one, now that's the one!
Guys, what font do you think I am? Let me know in the comments below. Oh my, it has been a millennia since I've seen like the Game Theory intro. I'll be honest, I haven't really watched that much like Game Theory in a while. So this is gonna be a treat.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where, instead of putting a joke here, I want to ask you a question. If your personality were represented by a font, what font would you be? Take a moment and put your font in the comments. I'm really curious to see what everyone has to say. Maybe...
Guys, what font am I? What font am I? Oh god. What's like a really cool font? Not Comic Sans. Bold... Arial? I don't... How the fuck do you, like, answer that question? I'm neurospicy, so sometimes I just go mute. Okay, I wasn't talking about you specifically, but it's fine. It's whatever. It's whatever, Phoenix. It's fine.
Find a couple new cool fonts to use. Getting bored with old Calibri 11. And with that out of the way,
how dare you? My mother was a Calibri.
Undertale. Now I don't think I've ever gotten
Hi, Turtle. Welcome.
To cover a game. Well, except for FNAF. And I suppose FNAF 2. Oh, and then there was...
If only he knew. How many FNAF games were out by the time Undertale was? Like, this was like a year after FNAF, wasn't it? Back then, there was like only 3, I think. Oh my god. I would pick Century Gothic or Comic Sans. Get out. Get out. Get out of my house.
Wait a minute, should I be worried about something here? Anyway, across the board on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter, you all have wanted...
Ew, going on
Undertale.
Reddit, gross.
And honestly, I'm glad you brought it to my attention. True loyal theorists will know that Earthbound is my favorite game of all time. So a self-aware...
I mean, Earthbound is pretty cool, yeah. I still need to stream it one of these days.
Gaming heavens. Undertale is a game where every character, from Goat Mom to Grind Fodder, has a sympathetic design and unique...
His name is Frogget, goddammit.
Motivations, goals, fears. Whether you're saving or slaughtering them, the game makes you feel something...
Okay, goodbye, chat. No, Phoenix, no! No! No, Phoenix, stay! No! Phoenix, stay! No! It was funny, haha, memes. It was funny, haha, memes. Stay! Stay, we love you. We love you, Phoenix.
one character stood out amongst all the rest. Sans. A skeleton named after the font Comic Sans, hence all the font references at the beginning of the episode. If you haven't played Undertale, I'm sure that was a really weird opening. Anyway,
I feel like
well,
how many people here haven't played Undertale, actually?
Before we get into it, let me put up a very special spoiler warning. Undertale is a game best experienced blind. So if you haven't
don't you worry. Don't you worry, Mr. Matthew Patrick. I've already got that covered.
Alright, so everyone out of the pool and ready for the adult swim? Good, because I'm feeling pretty determined to get to the bottom of Sans' mystery. So just to recap for those of you who haven't played the game and ignored the spoiler warning or just need a refresher, Sans is one of the two skeletal brothers who appear in the game. His partner is Papyrus, a loud,
yes,
funny
spaghetti boy.
But in the world of Undertale, their origins are a big question mark. All that we really know
Yeah, I've watched playthrough. Oh, I mean, I guess it's also fair.
Who explains that Sans and Papyrus, quote, just showed up one day and asserted themselves. Weird, right? What's more is that, while Papyrus is just kind of the goofy sidekick, Sans is much more complex. Sure, he likes fart jokes, but he's also incredibly powerful and deadly serious. Not only
I don't know about deadly serious. I mean,
the only characters
I guess only like the genocide route, I guess.
He often takes shortcuts around the world through ridiculous routes, even walking through walls. He also acknowledges that he's only one of infinite versions of himself, making self-aware commentary of the various timelines that you've played through in the game. He can even count the number of times he's killed you.
Yeah, I definitely remember that being quite a strange like feature of the game when I tried to do genocide route back in the day of like, he remembers the game, it remembers, and once you realize that it's all just like part of like coding in the game, it's a little less magical, but it's still kind of funny that like Sans just kind of like knows how many times you've died at that point.
He acts like an arbiter in this world, passing out judgment on the player's actions in the game, even explaining the secrets of EXP and love, or execution points and levels of violence, just to clarify. In short, he just doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the world of monsters. But then what? Or who is he?
Well, he's a funny skeleton boy.
He doesn't belong in Underworld seems to be
I figured that part's
evidence
obvious.
Seems to point to the fact that he was, in fact, formerly a surface dweller. In the true pacifist ending of the game, as the group looks out onto the horizon, Papyrus asks Sans about the giant ball in the sky. Sans says, quote,
I'd be looking, okay, enjoy the
This is
lyric,
important because,
misshapen.
A, the usage of the word we and knowledge of the sun shows that Sans has a kinship or knowledge with
Thank
other
you for the head pass,
humans,
thank you,
and
thank
B,
you.
that despite he and Papyrus both being skeletons, are supposedly brothers, and apparently appeared in Underworld at the same time, they clearly have two very
Love how they
histories.
include the voice crack.
Papyrus
That's great.
not know the name of the sun, but Sans would. We get further clues as to Sans' origin as we hear him say multiple times that he wants to go home, or go back. He says as much during his dinner date scene at the Metaton Hotel. He notices that the player must want to go home and says, quote, I know the feeling. He then continues, maybe sometimes it's better to take what's given to you, as though he ended up in Underworld by accident. And in a genocide run during
Why are we
the
calling it
boss fight,
Underworld?
says, quote, look, I gave up trying to go back a long time ago.
Well, when was it ever established as
Going back
Underworld?
to the surface world, that's clearly not the full story. His very next line of dialogue is, and getting to the surface doesn't really appeal anymore either. Key word here is either. Yes, he seems to hail from the surface and wants to go back, but based on his dialogue, he no longer considers it his home. It's as though the surface world he once knew is gone, as though he's from a different time. It's pretty intriguing. So we're left with a being that appeared out of nowhere, presumably from the human surface, but from a different time period, who seemingly has the power to teleport. That's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. But here's where things get really interesting. Sans has a hidden workshop that takes a fair amount of searching.
Right. Okay.
So
I still don't know how you're supposed to find this. I do remember when we were replaying the game. I thought there was a thing that for like when you beat the game. I'm not sure at what point you have access to this, or if you have to go through like hoops to do like very, very specific things. I don't know, but it would have been cool to have found this room again for the anniversary stream, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess I'm a failed gamer.
Determination to unlock. Anyway, obligatory determination references aside.
Okay, fuck you, Matt.
For this Easter egg, Sans gives you a key to his room with the words, "It's time you learn the truth." After some searching, you find the workshop, which contains items that leave even more questions. A photo album featuring Sans and a bunch of smiling people you don't recognize, a badge, blueprints with illegible handwriting, and a broken machine hidden behind a curtain. In the latest update, one more detail was added, a hand-drawn picture of 3 smiling faces with the words, "Don't forget." So what's it all mean? Well,
Don't forget! As in, like, don't forget! I'm with you in the dark! Guys, it was Deltarune all along. Actually, Deltarune. So, like, the whole thing about this whole theory is, so far, all of this makes sense, right? It's very clear that Sans isn't from Undertale. Well, I feel like we've discussed this when we were re-streaming Undertale, but it's just so clear now that, like, Sans must be from Deltarune originally. So I guess in a way Deltarune is kind of a prequel. If we can, like, think about who the 3 smiling people are, we could probably assume that they're, like, Chris, Susie, and maybe Rousey? Maybe? In, like, the Dark World or something? I'm just assuming here. Again, we don't have any confirmation. If we ever get to, like, a point in Deltarune where we can, like, take a photo with Sans, that's when I'll be like, oh! I'll be like the one, like, Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's, like, sitting on the couch and pointing. But remember, gamers, this was 9 years ago. This was before Deltarune was a thing. So, we all know where this is actually going.
Undertale theorists have been linking these details to a mysterious figure named W.D. Gaster, a ghostly character who never truly appears in the game. Honestly, covering him is a theory all unto itself, and probably one best saved for another day.
Yeah, the whole Gaster thing is a whole
I've seen have been
mess.
able to explain all the details. In particular,
nobody knows anything, but he's also behind everything in Deltarune, I guess, maybe.
Me as I researched Undertale. A badge.
Presumably.
That in particular really stuck out to me. Why would such an oddly specific item be included in this huge Easter egg of a room? Something that...
Pretty sure it's supposed to be a police badge, as in, like, Undyne's badge, which, again, if we look back at this video, it makes so much more sense, like, looking back after the events of, like, chapters 3 and 4, because, like, it's mentioned that, that there's, like, 3 symbols, right, needed to unlock, like, the shed, or whatever. It was, like, the police badge, a pine tree, and the Deltarune symbol. Like, it makes sense, right? In hindsight. But this is not where this is going.
That supposedly reveals the truth about Sans. Badges just aren't important in Undertale. And then it hit me. What if it wasn't from Undertale?
Yeah?
What if this badge was from a completely different game and was, in fact, the most important badge in the history?
Well, I don't know about that
gaming,
important.
The Franklin badge. Now, for those of you wondering what I'm talking
Yep.
about, the Franklin badge is a cool item from the Mother series. You know, the one with Earthbound. Or maybe you don't know that one either. You know, the one that Ness from Super Smash Brothers? Yeah, well, Ness is from Earthbound, and Earthbound is the second part in this larger Mother trilogy.
Yeah, no, I know where Earthbound is. I got it. Thanks for clearing things up.
Carries through the whole trilogy, saving your life multiple times in the process. It's so important that Nintendo has made it a staple item in the Smash Brothers series. So I asked myself, what if the badge in Sans' drawer was that exact badge? Well, first off, it'd make Undertale connected to my favorite game, thereby making it even cooler.
Bro is not cooking. Bro is out of the kitchen. The kitchen is currently... it has been closed for 12 years.
At the end of Earthbound, you're given a photo album covering your adventures throughout the game. To me, it's one of the best, most satisfying endings in gaming to look back on your journey in picture form. And what does Sans happen to have in his other drawer? A photo album filled with pictures of Sans with people you don't recognize. Of course, you don't know them. They're not characters present in Undertale. And note the word that's used.
Yeah, but neither is, like, Susie.
Not underworld monsters. So that's 2 items oddly linked.
Wow. Mr. Madpat, are you saying that, like, monsters also aren't considered people? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Matthew Patrick? Is that what you're saying? I can't believe it. Monster racism. Monster racism in my game theory video. I'm disgusted. I'm absolutely disgusted. Because, like, yeah, well, people doesn't necessarily refer to humans. Like, necessarily. You know?
And then how do the blueprints and broken machine fit in? Well, in the final stretch of Earthbound, Ness and his 3 friends must travel to the past in order to have their final battle against the evil alien Gygus. To do that, Dr. Donuts, remember him by the way, he's gonna be important later, with the help of the
I'm sure he will.
geniuses Apple Kid and Mr. Saturn, create what's known as the Phase Distorter, a machine that allows people to travel through time and space. Except, it comes with a cost. It can't transport organic material. As a result, the young heroes must put their souls into robotic bodies to use the machine and thus save the world. I played this game back in 1997, and I'm not ashamed to admit that when I first saw this scene, I cried. It's devastating. Dr. Donuts says goodbye to his son. These characters that you've grown to love and care about are suddenly promising to sacrifice their lives. For all they know, there's no possibility of them being able to come
I still
back
need to
home.
play
It's this
Earthbound one of these
incredibly
days.
dark
I really
final
do.
moments of what was
And Mother
otherwise
3.
a fun,
Not Mother 1, though.
colorful RPG.
Or Earthbound
What's all
Beginnings,
this have to
rather.
do with Undertale? A lot, actually. But the first thing you need to know is that Mr. Saturns are known for their, let's say, unique linguistic style. That would explain the illegible handwriting on the blueprints. And the machine, I think a broken phase distorter is behind that curtain. Now that may seem like a stretch, but
Would that-
it actually explains a lot. If Sans
Would that not be, like, too small?
A phase distorter, it could provide
I don't know. I don't know about, like, the size
skeleton.
proportion
He
of
used the
these.
machine as organic matter and suffered the consequences. Not killing him, but turning at least part of him into a pile of bones. It would also explain why Sans has given up
Not
hope for
really.
going home. Remember, the distorter is a time machine. By being an
Okay, wait, hold on. So, okay. So I haven't played Earthbound yet, right? Like, I've seen, like, Link, play it in passing. I've been in and out of those streams. But he did not just, like, establish that you can't really use these things as a living organism. And that's why they put their souls into robots in the first place. So then why would he go inside as normal human and come out a skeleton? I don't know, man. I don't know. Something ain't right, Mr. Batman. Something ain't right. That's all I'm saying.
him, but turning at least part of him into a pile of bones. It would also explain why Sans has given up hope for going home. Remember, the distorter is a time machine. By being an underworld, he's not only in a different place, but based on how he talks, he's also in a different time, with no hope of traveling back to the time he came from. But the crossovers between Earthbound and Undertale continue. When you speak to the Apple Kid at the end of Earthbound, he's blown away by the astronomical odds of Ness overcoming Gygus, saying that he's going to continue studying the trait called courage in order to harness its power. Seems awfully similar.
Is he? No. 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 Come on. No. You're looking at courage with determination? No. Pat, no. That's not what that means. No. They're not the same thing.
Around the trait of determination, no? Especially since so much speculation has circulated that Sans is a key player in those experiments. But I'm sure you also want physical evidence, right? Well, don't worry, because I have plenty. During one of the endings of Undertale,
I'm sure you do.
the
Please bring more. I forgot how fucking batshit insane this episode goes.
A tropical resort location named Summers that you play through in Earthbound.
It's a fucking beach. Yeah, most beaches tend to look pretty similar. I would think. Is that even like the same like rock textures? No, it's not. I don't think it or yeah, it's like a different like umbrella and everything and again, I haven't really played Earthbound, so maybe this is supposed to be like similar like Easter egg or something, because you know it's pretty well established that Toby Fox himself was very inspired by Earthbound. Hell, he made a whole made a whole Halloween hack of the original Earthbound, which I think is where Megalovania originally came from. I could be wrong. There's been like a million different versions of Megalovania before it was in Undertale, but it's still, it's a fucking beach, man. You know, it's a fucking beach. It feels like when the teacher gives you the assignment of what do you think the curtains being blue means? I think the color is just blue because it's blue. You know, I don't think it's nearly as deep as he thinks it is.
In fact, the geographic layout of the surface bears some striking similarities to the world of Mother. When Undertale's crew of monsters are finally able to reach the surface and look out over the earth, they're met with a beautiful sunset falling across a landscape of a tall mountain, a large city, and a sandy area adjacent to water. Notice the sun's reflection to indicate water and a lack of trees in this middle section here, hence the sand. Well, in Earthbound, you have the big city of Fourside, complete with skyscrapers, which you reach via a desert that just so happens to be adjacent to some water, and to the east, the mountain in Onetz, where a meteorite lands on Earth.
Wait, hold on. What did that editing thing just say?
Happens to be adjacent to some water, and to the east,
I couldn't see because of the captions. Not east, but west. Oh, so you were wrong. You were wrong, Mr. Matthew Patrick. Already, your editor even said so. You were incorrect!
In Onetz, where a meteorite lands on Earth. I always called it Onett, but if that's not clear enough for you,
I called it Onett.
Earthbound Zero, Earthbound Beginnings, whatever you want to call it, it's had a lot of names, had a map laying out the same geographic landscape. A tall mountain to the east of a large city, separated by a desert, with all of it up against a coast. I don't know about you, but to me it seems like there's a definite connection between the world of Eagleland, again, unclear how it's pronounced, between the world of Eagleland and the surface world of Undertale. But the strongest
Isn't Eagleland just like America?
It's
the land of the free, goddammit.
Comes from none other than Papyrus himself.
Oh, folks, if you haven't already seen this video and you don't know what he links with Papyrus, y'all aren't ready. I'm gonna say that much. Y'all aren't ready if you don't know what he says about Papyrus. There's construction outside my office all today, so my head's so sore. Okay, you wanna go rest, wife? You can go rest, wife. It's okay, wife. Mwah. I give you a good night smooch for your eeps. If you wish to eep early, it's okay, wife. It's okay. You'll miss out on the funny Matt Pat lore, but that's what the VODs are for. Assuming that this is gonna be good enough for a VOD, I'm not entirely sure. This is all gonna be very new. This is all new for me, I'm gonna be honest. Good night, wife. Have a good eep. Sorry that your head is sore. I hope to see you in tomorrow's stream instead.
Custom-made costume known as his battle body. But if you look really closely at the design of the armor, you'll notice some markings on the chest. Is it just a throwaway detail? Oh no! That right there is an exact match to the ones that appear on the chests of Starman.
Yeah, no, that's a fucking triangle. This is not. These are not the same. These are not the same shapes. They're just not. And why would he look like that? Okay, hold on. Also, watch the one about Gregory and the Mimic. I don't know which one that specifically is. And I don't know about doing like a lot of like FNAF videos. Maybe we can save that for like another day. I don't know. I like Mad Pad videos. Oh no, I'm shitting on these for like the meme because everyone knows about how this is all just wrong. Why are we watching game theory videos? Because phony. because phony. It's actually like a stream idea I've had for like a while now, where we would look at the more like insane MatPat videos. Also, hi Worm, how you doing? But yeah, like these are not like the same shapes. Like it's similar, yeah, with like the little like rectangles over here, but it's not the same.
The most iconic enemy of Earthbound. And look at the way he stands. I always thought it was awkward until I looked at the two characters side by side. Papyrus's curved arm and hand is a direct match to the curved arms of—
No, it's not! No, it's not! It's not! It's not even remotely similar! You have one bent arm, and that's it! That's the only similarity between these poses! It's not remotely the same, Matthew Patrick! It's not!
the Starman in the Mother series. In short, we have some incredibly strong proof that the Earthbound universe is somehow connected to the Undertale world.
This shit is why I wanted to watch this, because it's just so insane.
Is Sans. Well, what if we took it one final step and said that Sans happened to be Ness from Earthbound, sent through the phase distorter during a test of courage, carrying the Franklin badge in his photo album in his trusty backpack. Not only do all the items in the workshop suddenly fit, but so does Sans' behavior. Remember, Sans can seemingly teleport, and Ness just so happens to have the PSI ability to teleport. Now look at the way Sans always stands. Hands in his pockets, directly facing the camera. It's a very similar stance to how Ness is depicted standing in most
except that his hands are clearly not in his pockets. They wear very different clothes. Actually, yeah, hold on. If we're on the assumption that these are like the same characters, where the fuck did his clothes go? Especially like the hat, which is like the most iconic bit. Where's his baseball bat? Where's his backpack? Where is literally anything that relates him as Ness? Like, the second that you think about this any further than like 2 seconds, it immediately falls apart.
Marketing for the game. It even explains why Sans bleeds when you finally hit him. He is, or at least was, a human. Oh.
This is another thing too, because in Undertale and Deltarune, it's established that like monsters turn into dust when they die. We don't know for a fact if they can bleed, because we see like Susie at the end of like Deltarune Chapter 4, like her hand is bleeding. So that's been leading people to think that maybe she's part human, possibly. Not really sure how a skeleton bleeds though. I always assumed that the headcanon was that he just has like a packet of ketchup, like ready to go, and that was kind of it. Because otherwise, yeah, it doesn't make sense because he's a skeleton.
Oh, and finally,
boy, sure
Sans
totally
is
fucked
only
that fight
one
for that
letter removed
blunder.
from being an anagram for Ness. That's just a fun one. I thought it was worth mentioning. But if there was any doubt, we have to look no further
Okay,
than the creators.
I'm glad that he.
Toby Fox.
I'm so glad that he didn't take like the letters being arranged as like definite proof, because that would have jerked me up the fucking wall. Be like, if you take away the letters from here and add in a new one, it spells the same name. Like, no, it fucking doesn't. Yeah, because you add in a different letter.
The man behind Undertale had previously worked on a Halloween hack for Earthbound. But this just wasn't a simple reskin. The Halloween hack tells the tale of Dr. Andonuts after the events of Earthbound. Remember, I pointed him out? He's the one who made the phase distorter. In Toby Fox's version of the story, we see that after Gygas's defeat, the souls of the kids never return home. Instead, by going to the past to defeat Gygas, they create a new timeline that they're stuck in. As a result, Jeff never reunites with his father, Dr. Andonuts. And Dr. Andonuts goes crazy with guilt because he's the one responsible for creating the time machine and extracting the souls of his son and his son's friends to send them back to what he assumes was their death. In his mind, he killed 4 kids, and in Toby Fox's game, he
killed 4 kids, just like in the hit theory about Five Nights at Freddy's.
But that said, you see a lot of Undertale in this game. The appearance of amalgamates, the first use of the awesome song Megalovic.
I'm sorry.
In this game,
I'm sorry.
The appearance of amalgamates.
Yeah, that's an amalgamate, but it's clearly not the same thing as what we're looking at here. Like, Not even remotely similar. Oh, why did it just say ammo? Was that foreshadowing for Gerson? Was this foreshadowing for Gerson all these years later? Maybe. But hey, just a theory.
Mates, the first use of the awesome song Megalovania, the prototypes for Flowey, and the theme of having the choice to be non-violent in an RPG.
Also, like, with the whole, like, Megalovania thing, I've already mentioned this before, but, like, yes, it was, like, first done here, but it's been, like, tons of other projects before Undertale. Like, it was in fucking Homestuck games, for God's sakes. It was in Homestuck, for crying out loud! When was this hack made? Good question, actually. Good question. Can we do some, like, light research here? Earthbound Halloween hack. 2008! 2008, according to fandom.com, anyway. I'm not sure how much I trust that as a source, but, like, yeah, that was so long before Undertale. When was Megalovania used in Homestuck? 2011. So yeah, not that long before Undertale came out, with like 4 years later. So yeah. Does that mean that like Homestuck is canon to Undertale too? God, I fucking hope not. I fucking hope not. It does come full circle though, because now Toby Fox is, I think he's voicing the main character in the Homestuck pilot. I haven't watched that at all. I've just seen like random clips of it, and from what I can tell, it's not new fan friendly, I guess. Like you have to be like a real hardcore fan to get anything out of it, which I think is a really bad pilot thing to do. Like, you want to introduce people to like your world and whatnot, but yeah, no, we're getting sidetracked. Let's stop talking about Homestuck, for the love of God.
Sparing your enemies. But then why's all this matter to the theory? Well, remember, in Toby Fox's version of the story, the kids don't come back. They're stuck in the past with no hopes of getting home, just like Sans. And in the hack, one character is oddly missing, with no explanation as to why. Ness. Presumably in this timeline, his soul is in a different place than his 3 friends. Which brings us back to Undertale. 3 faces with "Don't Forget" written on it. It's Ness.
Don't forget, I'm with you in the dark.
Is a continuation of Toby's version of Earthbound, with Ness never being able to get home, adopting the name Sans, and accompanied by Papyrus, a former Starman, an alien force able to speak English and still equipped with his armor and signature posture.
Okay, so, again, said this a few times already, have not played Earthbound yet. I want to eventually stream that as a whole series at some point. But the Starmen are the bad guys in the game, right? They serve under Gygas? So, is there supposed to be, like, one that would be friendly enough to partner up with Ness, or no? I would assume not, right? Maybe that is like a storyline in Earthbound. I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. And of course, like, one that is as silly as Papyrus that makes a bunch of like skeleton jokes, and then none of it just ever gets like brought up ever. So, like, again, it's one of those things where if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, it all completely falls apart, and that's why I love this video so much.
But without any knowledge of earthly things, like the sun, the pieces all just seem to fit. And all we need is an appearance from Pokey/Porky, and we've got ourselves a true sequel. But hey, that's
just a theory. A gay theory.
Thanks for watching.
Oh my god,
now
what
go
a shit
forth
show.
with that knowledge and try to tell me who Gaster is. Don't worry, I'll be looking too.
Guys, what if it's Porky? What if Gaster was Porky all along? Oh, man. Alright, what a great start. What a great start for a video. Uh, I remember when this video first came out, and when I was around 15 or so when this first came out, I almost thought like, oh yeah, you know what? All these connections kind of make sense, and then I look down at the comments and be like, oh no, it doesn't. Let's actually look at those said comments. Let's actually look at those said comments while we get some music playing. The fact that Matt's character in the FNAF movie is specifically called Ness because of the video showed that Scott is the ultimate troll. Not even Scott wanted Matt Pat to forget about this video. Sans, today we're going to be covering how Matt Pat is actually Scott Cawthon. Hilarious. Hilarious. He nearly blew the lid off Deltarune 3 years early, and you laugh. Yeah, because that's the thing. This is... I've been saying that all throughout this video. But the more that you realize that this is more... It makes so much more sense for, like, Deltarune all these years later. If he had just, like, waited, like, 3 years... just 3 years, we wouldn't have had the whole Nest thing. But then the meme community wouldn't be nearly as far as it is. It would not be nearly as far as it is. They hated him because he was right. Hey, it's Ness from Earthbound! While I was at Sans cosplay convention a few weeks ago. Oh my god. all this time later, and it's just a legendary video. It's just such a legendary video. You should watch the Gregory is a Mimic one. It's hilarious and very positive. Okay. Alright. Fine. Since wife wanted me to watch it. Earlier. Is it going by a specific title? Game Theory. Gregory. Is it Gregory is a robot? Or is it straight up just Gregory is the Mimic? Yeah, which one is it? Because there's like... Oh, I was gonna say there's like three different videos. There's like this one and then the second one. Which one is it? Is it the top one, which says they're all Afton, or the family reunion one? The robot. They both say... They both say robot! I don't know which one is which. That's what's confusing me. Okay, top or bottom? Which one is it? I need clarification. I haven't seen these. Fuck. Well, that's not helping. This is not helping. Well, this one says that he's, like, not a robot. Which... I mean... is incorrect. So Gregory is a robot. Okay, this is like Game Theory Live. This is not the same thing. I don't remember. I don't know if we're gonna be watching both. Tell you what. Why don't you scout ahead for one of these two videos to see which one it is, and in the meantime, I'm going to do a different video that I've been wanting to do. The Sonic Timeline video. This is another recent one. It's a recent one from the new Game Theory host. I haven't seen it for myself, but I have heard things about it that are very incorrect. Oh my god, it's a half hour long. We're gonna get so much out of it, gamers. We're gonna get so much out of this one. You folks know me. I have the Sonic autism, so I am ready to rip into who's the new host of Game Theory? Like, what's his name? Tom? Is it Tom? I'm gonna assume that his name is Tom, judging from the credits. Unless he doesn't write his own scripts. In which case, cringe. Actual cringe? Where's my Vine Boom? I need to reorganize my soundboard, but here you go. Cringe? There we go. Okay, great. Alright. It's a bit of a longer one than the last one, so hope y'all are ready.
The Sonic timeline is wrong. Earlier this year, Sega released the official timeline of Sonic the Hedgehog, and it is all over the place. Many important games are missing, and some of the games that are
Wait,
in
why
the
is there like two
timeline
different
are
captions?
in the complete
There we go.
wrong order. But don't worry, Sega, because I'm here to fix it.
I don't think that's true, but
Hello,
sure.
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the
Oh, did they delete the theme song? Did they delete the da 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 da? Did they get rid of that? Oh no, that sucks. Oh no. They got rid of the funny song. Oh. Gamers, this is a sad day. This is a sad day for gay theorists everywhere. Alright, let's actually get through this, because this is going to be a longer one.
show that's always going for that S rank. I mean, I'm an overachiever that loves Sonic games. Are we surprised? But as a kid, I wasn't only chasing the dopamine hit from seeing Sonic do his little breakdance, I was also seriously invested in the story of each game, from the great to the really not great. And with more recent additions...
Cue your millionth Sonic 06 bad meme here. Guys, remember Sonic 06? Guys, remember how bad Sonic 06 was? I do. Anyway.
like Sonic Generations and Sonic Frontiers actively calling back to past adventures, I really began to wonder how all of these games would fit together. So you could imagine my excitement when Sega released an official Sonic the Hedgehog timeline, a definitive list showing us which games happen in what order in the Sonic story, including events that occurred in the past before Sonic is even around, like the ancients arrival.
Yeah, the stuff with
on
like
Earth
the
in Sonic
end
Frontiers, like Doom's
and
assistants
genies and
creating
whatnot.
Shadow, the
Yeah.
a genie hedgehog.
Oh my god, wait. I forgot that this was also a theory. This is also a theory that I remember watching for the newer game theories. Should we put this on the list? Put this on the list that Shadow is a genie. Cause this one is wild. I might put that on the list of stuff to watch later. Yeah, I'll write it down while we... Oh, whoops, muted.
Tried by chaos. It even includes spin-off games like Sonic Riders and Sonic Battle. These guys really did their homework putting this together. At least, that's what I was going to say. Because if you take a little more time looking at this timeline, it actually raises more questions than it answers. Why are some of the big titles missing? If some spin-off games are added, why have others not been included? And the placement of some of these games make absolutely no sense. This timeline is a certified C rank.
Just made it.
Exactly, Sega. You just made it. You got some stuff right, sure, but you also missed a lot of details along the way.
Okay, Sonic Chronicles is not canon. Not sure why this is here. It was actively erased from the canon. I'm not sure why you're including this one. I don't know how many people are going to include, like, Sonic Rivals into the timeline. Why? Sonic Dash, the fucking mobile game? You want the fucking mobile game to be in the main, like, canon, man? Alright, I mean, Sonic Advance, yeah, makes sense, because it's a series that has, like, Cream's first, introduction, sure. Sonic R, I don't think it really matters that much. Storybook games, I feel like the storybook games have always been kind of like their own thing. Really? Shouldn't you be Sonic, Jessie? I mean, we weren't looking at Sonic at first. We were doing the game theory, Ness Sans video. If I'm gonna be honest, I've been setting up some PNG tuber stuff behind the scenes. It's been a pain in the ass to get it all set up again because of this fucking awful program. Hopefully I'll have things ready by, like, tomorrow's stream to have, like, the Sonic stuff, ready again. I do have a Rouge costume, though. If you guys want me to be in the Rouge costume. There is that. So, yeah. But, yeah, I don't really see, much complaints of, like, why the Sonic Chronicles isn't part of, like, the timeline. Because it doesn't exist anymore. You could thank Ken Penders for that. He made sure of that.
way. But don't worry, friends. We here at Game Theory love ourselves a timeline. And more importantly, we love fixing timelines.
What do you mean cook? Why are you cooking me, Jazz?
Not only will I fix all the issues currently in this timeline, I will also have every Sonic game ever completely accounted for. A definitive Sonic the Hedgehog timeline truly worthy of that S rank.
Okay.
That was incredible.
So, put
all
on
right.
those power sneakers, theorists. We are going
I'll
to
be the
speed
judge.
through this
I'll be
timeline
the judge.
faster than the blue blur himself. Just so we're on the same page, let's quickly go through what exactly Sega is suggesting the timeline to be, so that I can show you where the missing pieces are and what needs rearranging. We start in the prehistoric times, millions of years ago, that are mentioned in Sonic Unleashed, and this is where the Chaos beings known as the Ancients from Sonic Frontiers first arrive on Earth. We then have tens of thousands of years ago where Dark Gaia from Sonic Unleashed is destroyed.
Jessie
and
six,
we get
25
the
yen.
arrival of the
Only
Babylonian
25 yen?
aliens from Sonic
Damn,
Riders
that's a
Zero
steal.
Gravity. Thousands of years ago, the Ancients have died out, but Chaos is still around. And as we see in Sonic Adventure, wipes out the ancient Echidna race. 2,000 years ago, Shadow the Hedgehog's Black Arm aliens prepared to invade Earth, and the ancient combat bots called Gizoids from Sonic Battle are created. After a century and a half,
in
we get
that one
Black
game.
Doom giving
Right,
his
yes, I
DNA to
remember.
help
The
give
devil
Shadow
from the Bible, High Shadow.
Space Colony Arc. The Gizoids on that same facility go haywire and begin destroying everything, leading Gun, the government military, to intervene and kill Shadow's dear friend Maria. See, dead kids, Sonic fits right in on this channel. And just before we get to modern day, 10 years ago, we have the weirdness that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006's time travel. Sonic goes back in time to stop the villain Solaris from...
I wonder if he's going to bring up the fact that, like, Blaze simultaneously premieres in this game as well as in Sonic Rush. Because, yeah, in most continuities, in, like, the comics and whatever, in the other games, they just say that she's from, like, another dimension, as she was in Sonic Rush. So, I'm inclined to believe that that is the mainline canon. It was just such a mess. Like, why did they give her two completely different introductions? That always pissed me off. Like, it's even, like, weirder because in Sonic 06, when Sonic is first mentioned, Blaze is like, Blue Hedgehog, as if she knows him, kind of. But they never interact at all in the game. In fact, I don't think Blaze interacts with anyone except for Silver, which is weird. It's so weird. It's like, why did they even include her? It's so strange. She doesn't even do anything in the story. So, I kind of feel like, yeah, Sonic 06 doesn't really count.
Existing, along with the original version of history when the Solar...
Okay, as for, like, the order of, like, the actual, like, game stories, I think it's actually like, pretty simple, actually. It's just chronological order of, like, when the games came out, and that's basically it. The only thing that is kind of rearranged with, like, the timeline is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 comes after Sonic CD, and that's only because Tails isn't in Sonic CD. Literally, that's it. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why CD comes before 2, is because Tails isn't in it. Everything else is surprisingly very straightforward. I'm surprised that this is even a video to begin with.
Solaris experiment fails and caused undue destruction. You know, because, as we all know, time travel never makes a timeline complicated or confusing ever. When will these franchises learn? And that's just the pre-history.
Chrono Trigger's
Finally,
peak,
we're
excuse
actually
me?
into the games that involve Sonic, which are a little more straightforward, so we're gonna blast through these. Editor, let's get that speed up ready. Sonic 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 2, Sonic & Knuckles, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Superstars. That leads into our modern Sonic era with Sonic 4, the present day of Sonic Adventure, Sonic Shuffle, the most random spin-off tie-in, but okay, the present day of Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Heroes, the present day of Shadow the Hedgehog, the present day of Sonic Battle, Sonic Advance 3, Sonic Rush, the present day of Sonic 06, Sonic Riders,
This
Sonic
seems
Rush
right to
Adventure,
me.
the present day of Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, the present day of Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, Sonic X Shadow Generation, Sonic Free Riders, Sonic Lost World, Team Sonic Racing, Sonic Forces, the present day of Sonic Frontiers, ending 200 years in the future with Silver the Hedgehog's 2 timelines from Sonic 06, and scene! Woo!
Yeah, okay.
Gosh, that
All right,
was
there
a
we
lot
go.
of games.
Video done.
That's
Video
what
done.
you'd expect from a franchise that's been around for nearly 35 years. However, I don't know if you noticed, but despite it feeling like a pretty exhaustive list, I immediately saw some big games missing from that lineup. The first, and in my opinion most obvious, is Sonic Advance 1. Both its sequels, Advance 2 and 3, are present in the timeline, and yet the original that kicked off the spin-off series isn't included. It might be because it's just a pretty standard Sonic game for the Game Boy. Eggman is plotting evil, so Sonic and friends stop him. Compare that to the sequels where we get the introduction of Cream, who appears in later entries like Sonic Heroes, and the introduction of Gemerald, a remade version of the Gizoids, which we learn about in Sonic Battle. But come on, Sega. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it can't fit somewhere, especially when you...
Can I look at this timeline, actually? Did they, like, eventually update it? I wonder. Hold on. Sonic Timeline official website. Because I remember, I think this was, like, only in Japan, right? Yeah, this is, like, a Japanese only. Yeah, so you're just gonna get, like, a lot of, like, Google translating. Yeah, so this is a real site that you can go to. It's taking a second to actually load everything. Yeah. It doesn't even spell echidna right. It's echiduna. The echidnuda. Right. Emer. Oh, see, folks. This is why we don't let AI take over our services, because they can't get shit right. They cannot get shit right. Okay, so yeah, Sonic Battle. Theory of Destruction. Sonic 06. Yeah, the Sonic Mania, the Superstars, Sonic 4, which we don't count. Yeah, Shuffle. Oh yeah, it does skip over Advance 1. Huh. That is strange. It is strange that it skips over Advance 1 of all games. Okay. Props to you, Mr. Tom Game Theory Man.
Consider the mini-games Sonic Advance has. It sounds strange, but trust me, Sonic Advance contains some mini-games within the Tiny Chow Garden. By connecting this game to other games, you got more mini-games to play. If you downloaded the Tiny Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure, you got a new mini-game called Chow Search, where Tikal helps you find chows, meaning that Advance has to be after Sonic Adventure, but before Sonic Advance 2, somewhere around Sonic Shuffle and Sonic Adventure 2. So, where does Sonic Advance go in reference to these games? To answer that, we need to look at some of the enemies encountered across the games. Some of the enemies in Advance are the classic ones that you know and love, like Buzzer and Kiki. However, there are some enemies that only make an appearance in Sonic Advance and Sonic Adventure, such as Leon and Rhino Tank. By the time we get to Adventure 2, these enemies are nowhere to be seen, meaning Eggman probably retired them because they were no good at taking down Sonic, placing Advance before Sonic Adventure 2. Now it's just a question of which side of Shuffle it lands. And for this one, I'm gonna take a page out of Host of...
I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, Sonic Shuffle would take place after Adventure 1, right? Because one came out directly after the other. I think it's this one. Okay, hold on. Let me grab that link right there. Let me just grab that link right there, and then we'll put it in, like, the other tab. And then we'll save that for later. There we go. Oh, whoops. I made a fucky. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Give me a secret. Give me a secret. Okay. Not yet. Pause, motherfucker. I clicked pause like 5 times and it didn't. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. We found the correct one. We'll talk about Gregory later.
Style Theory, Amy's book, and check out the fit. Or at least the little fit Sonic does have, his shoes. Specifically, when he turns into Super Sonic. In Shuffle, you can unlock Super Sonic as a character, and the shoes he wears are the Light Speed Dash shoes from Adventure. By Adventure 2, Sonic gets new Light Dash shoes with a drastically different look. So, the fact that Sonic is using the exact same shoes in Shuffle tells us that Shuffle is most likely a direct sequel to Adventure, after which Sonic ditches the shoes.
right?
not
Yes.
using them at all in Advance
Yes.
or Adventure
As
2.
I
So
said.
Sonic Advance goes after Sonic Shuffle, but before Sonic Adventure 2. Right here. See, that wasn't so hard, now was it, Sega? But no time to stand around. Another set of games that are noticeably absent are the storybook series of games, Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight.
I feel like these two weren't included probably because they're kind of their own thing. Like, I would assume that these are like after Sonic Unleashed, right? Because they both came out like after Unleashed, or maybe not both. I think Secret Rings came before. Oh wait, no, hold on. Okay, I'm remembering. Sonic and the Secret Rings was made around the same time that they were making 06 because they couldn't port 06 to the Wii. So they made like two like Wii games to satisfy Sega instead, and that's how that's part of how 06 came out the way that it did, because they split the development team in half. I found a baby on Twitch and I'm in search of its origin. Do you have info on this child? What is that baby emote? No, I don't know what baby that is. I'm back. What did I miss? We're looking at the Sonic timeline now, and it went through like a whole argument of like where Sonic Advance 1 fits into the timeline, and now we're looking into the storybook games. I'm very interested to see where this goes, considering I'm pretty sure that we don't really need to think that hard about when these came out. They're kind of their own thing, right?
Though I would question if 2 games makes it a series. Now, you might think that these shouldn't be included because they're very obviously spin-off titles. However, Sonic Advance 2 and 3 are spin-offs, and they're included. Sonic Riders is a spin-off, and that's there. Heck, Sonic Shuffle is there, and that's literally just a Mario Party clone. So I don't think it's a big enough reason to not include it here. Plus, in Sonic Generations, Sonic actually references the events of Secret Rings.
No stranger than rescuing genies in magic books or saving aliens in an interstellar amusement park.
It just seems crazy to me not to add these games in when they are referenced in other games. Although, it is kind of a tricky one. Sonic and the Secret Rings takes...
Wait, hold on. Is he saying that like Secret Rings is referenced in Rush Adventure? And Sonic Riders? Because I don't think they are. I tried to figure out whose kid this is. I'll be back, Jessie. Should make a Sonic lore stream. I would watch that. What would I talk about, though? What would I talk about in terms of Sonic lore? I guess you're getting said Sonic lore here.
Place in the Arabian Nights book. At the start of the game, Sonic jumps on a flying carpet and goes into the book. But notice how Sonic doesn't bat an eyelid at the concept of a flying carpet. It's not because he's so chill about everything. If anything, he has a habit of being very overt when something surprises him.
The whole city's on fire!
It's because he already knows flying carpets exist.
Because it's after Sonic Riders.
Sonic and the team discovered that one of the first
Right?
extreme gears made by the Babylonians is a flying
Yeah, it's not that hard
carpet.
because that game
Sonic
came
is
after
unexpected,
Sonic Riders.
by the sight of it.
A magic carpet? I thought that those only existed in fiction.
That is the reaction of seeing a real magic carpet for the first time. But in Secret Rings, he's just like, no problem. So, Secret Rings has to take place after Riders. Taking a deeper look
Right?
at Secret
Yeah,
Rings,
okay,
you also
not
find
that
what
hard.
I'd
Not that
expect
hard.
from most Wii games in general. Some kind of party mode. In it, you get to play as your usual suspects. Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. But there are some unlockable characters like Shadow, Cream, and most importantly, Blaze the Cat. Now, Blaze debuted in Sonic Rush, a game that is...
Okay, except that they're not really the characters. They're like the characters in the story. Okay, for people who don't know about like the storybook games, the whole thing is that like Sonic is Sonic, right? But Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and whatever, they're like characters within the storybook. So in Sonic and the Black Knight, Shadow is like Sir Lancelot, and Blaze is like Percival, and Knuckles is the third one that I forget the name of. But they're all like characters within the story of the book, and Tails is like a blacksmith and whatnot. So I don't think that like Blaze in a multiplayer side game really counts, considering that she's not even in the story of that game as far as I'm aware. Again, haven't played Secret Rings yet, although I do own the game now. we could definitely play that at some point. But as far as I'm aware, Blaze does not show up, so what is this argument right now?
Before Sonic Riders, which you might not think helps us all that much, but actually it helps us out quite a lot. You see, though Blaze was introduced before Sonic Riders in the timeline, Blaze isn't a playable character in Riders. She is, however, a playable character after Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, a game which takes place after the events of Sonic Rush Adventure.
And again, she's not in the story, so why does it matter?
What this tells us is that canonically, Blaze only sticks around to be a playable character after the events of Sonic Rush Adventure, placing secret rings sometime after that game too. It also has to be before Generations due to Sonic recalling the events. But outside of that, I was kind of struggling to find other details that could help me place it in a satisfying way that also wouldn't drive me insane. However, in saying that, Secret Rings is also so isolated that no matter where it goes, it's unlikely to cause any real contradictions to the rest of Sonic's lore. So
they're like when Simpsons take on an old story that use Marge and the fam. I'm not really sure what that's saying. Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get what you're saying, kind of.
I decided to employ the tactic Sega themselves.
Why does it
also
look so
seem to use
saturated?
for these isolated games. Use the release dates. You can see this in the current timeline
Right.
where games like Sonic
Right. Yeah. So it's like when like Simpsons does like Bible stories or whatever, and like the Simpsons characters are like Jesus and Judas or whatever. You know, it's like that. It's like that.
Rush Adventure, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and Sonic Unleashed have no direct impact on one another.
Marge,
These three games
I
could go
betrayed
in
the Son of
any
Christ
order,
again.
But Sega chose to put them in order based on their release dates. Secret Rings also came out in 2007, and because we know it has to be after Sonic Rush, we will put it after that, but before Zero Gravity, which came out a year later. And if you thought that one was tough, Sonic and the Black Knight, the other storybook game, is even trickier to place. While it's a sequel to Sonic and the Secret
Not
Rings,
really.
there are no references to
It's not really that hard. It came out after Unleashed. Boom.
Stands on its own with no interactions with any other Sonic characters except the ones in the storybook. That is, until the ending. At the very end of the game, Sonic is retelling the story, and Amy replies,
That's the lamest excuse ever! You just forgot about our date!
That initially comes off as a strange response from Amy. In a lot of the games and TV shows, Amy is infatuated with Sonic that he isn't interested.
God, I miss
so the
Lisa
fact that
Ora
Sonic
says
has
Amy, man.
planned to
I
go
really
on
do.
A date seems wild until you get to Sonic Unleashed and hear about this exact thing. During some dialogue with Amy, she asks to go on a date, and suddenly we are given the option to respond.
Bro, I'm like 5 steps ahead of you. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it just takes place after Sonic Unleashed. There you go. It's not that big of a deal. It's just like they came out in order of release. It's really not that hard. It's just, oh, this game came out after Sonic Unleashed, and then Solid Colors comes afterwards, and then Generations. It's really not that tricky. I don't know why he's saying that it is. It's not.
That could be fun. This optional choice is the date that Sonic misses due to the events of the Black Knight. Who knew that adding a choice in games would be so important to its lore? Amy also goes on to appear in Sonic Colors, well, the DS version anyway, and she once again helps us with Black Knight's placement. Not because of what she says, it's actually what she doesn't say. When you interact with her, she just talks about wanting to see Sonic in action. She doesn't give any mention of her date with Sonic. As discussed, Amy is obsessed with Sonic, and if Sonic said yes to going on a date with Amy, she'd be talking about it and reminding him at every chance she got. That is, unless that date, or missing date, has already happened. Sonic misses the date in Black Knight, and Amy doesn't love the excuse, but by the time we get to Sonic Colors, she's clearly moved on, putting Sonic and the Black Knight after Unleashed, but before Colors. Right about here. And
Yeah, okay, again, not that hard. I was about to say, was he going to suggest that Sonic Colors is like 2 separate like timelines or something because of the DS version, which is not canon, and the canon like Wii version? Again, I'm not really sure how that works out because they're basically the same game, except that like the DS version has a lot of like side characters as like little like side missions. Like Silver shows up, Knuckles is there for some reason. And they don't really do anything. They're just there to like give you like side missions or whatever. They just also happen to be there, and they're nowhere to be seen in the Wii version. So I don't know. I don't think I would include any lore from like the DS version because I don't see why it would really matter.
With that, really? Do I have to talk about you?
No, you don't. Because Boom is its own thing. Boom is like its own thing. Which is weird because they do reference it in Sonic Frontiers. And I don't know why. Because it's been like established to be like a different thing. It's so strange.
Fine. It's time to talk about Sonic Boom. Now, I actually had no problem with these games not.
Yes, I want to watch Mario's a Psychopath. Maybe we'll do it after this one. I guess you guys did want the Gregory video. How long is the Gregory video? Hold on. Let me look at the Gregory video. Gregory. 20 minutes. Okay. Well, it's shorter than this. I've been to pause the ending for this, but that's because I want to actually put my input into all this.
Being included in the timeline. The games were so broken and so naturally flopped. The TV show has done very well.
By the way, sorry. I coughed on my own lungs for a second. Brief reminder that if we reach 1,000 followers, then I will play the entirety of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric on stream.
And it's actually pretty funny at times.
Not another speeding ticket. I'll fight it in court, but I don't think they're gonna accept gotta go fast as a medical condition.
But if I'm calling out Sega for not including every game, then I sadly have to at least mention it. Especially as Amy once again comes to save the day and mentions Styx, the badger from Sonic Boom, in Sonic Frontiers. Thankfully, the solution is pretty simple. The real reason that Rise of Lyric, Shattered Crystal, and Fire and Ice aren't on Sega's timeline is because these games are canonically in their own universe.
Right,
Paul Kaminsky,
yes.
the editor for the Sonic Boom Archie comics, said in an
As
interview
established,
that the Sonic Boom comic takes place within a new branch of the Sonic universe. That, in addition to the games Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric for the Wii U,
I
and
do
Sonic
wonder if
Boom
he has his
Shattered
own
Crystal for the
explanation as
Nintendo
to why
3DS
Styx is
will
mentioned
include
at
a
all.
First ever CG animated TV series. This explains why we see a lot of the same characters, and yet they are so different from what we're used to. Like Knuckles being a total airhead and not the guardian of the Master Emerald.
People have been complaining that
Also
I don't
the
got
fact that
enough
he's,
rare
like,
stones.
So,
3
whilst
times his normal
exists in
size.
both universes and is still friends with the gang in both, it's not the same Styx from Sonic Boom. What this means for us in trying to place the game
Okay, so this is as insane as I thought it would be. Okay.
in this master timeline
that's
is
good.
that the Sonic Boom series lives completely separate from the rest of the timeline, running parallel to the rest of these events. Okay, we've established some of the big outliers, but there's still a lot more to cover. Across the timeline, we have a handful of smaller spin-off titles like Sonic Battle, Team Sonic Racing, and Sonic Shuffle. This initially surprised me because I would never expect a party or racing game to be added to the canon timeline, especially when the plot is pretty much the same as it always is, but with racing or karts. It doesn't exactly enrich the lore of Sonic, but it also doesn't contradict anything we already know, so it's also not a big deal either. Other more plot-heavy spin-offs like Sonic Battle and Sonic Riders made more sense being added to the timeline. In Sonic Riders, they introduce a bit of history to the universe on how the Babylonians came from space, and in Sonic Battle, we meet Emerald, one of the ancient robot Gizoids discovered by Gerald Robotnik.
Right.
Both
And-
these games enrich
and
the
Battle
lore
would
of Sonic's
be
universe. They
after
gave us a
Adventure
glimpse
1,
into
because
the past, but once again, the key
Gamma is
point
mentioned.
is they didn't contradict anything we already knew. And so if that's the main criteria for a game to be in this timeline, then there are loads more spin-offs that could be added to this thing. Like this one. No, editor, that's not it. I'm talking about don't just keep showing me the same... Wait, is that another
Is
group
an
of
ad?
freedom fighters trying to save their world? Well, I guess I'm here, so
Oh,
I
is
might
this
as
an
well
ad?
talk about them. Plus, they are sponsoring today's video. It's
Oh, boo! Boo! Alright, we're skipping the sponsor stuff. I'm sure the game is neat. I'm sure the game is neat. It looks very Cuphead. But I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead.
Sky Hero for sponsoring this video, but now let's start placing some actual spin-off titles in this timeline. Now, for time's sake, I can't go into detail on every single spin-off, because much like Nintendo with Mario, Sega loves making Sonic spin-offs, and most of these spin-offs, like Sonic Chaos, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Tails Sky Patrol, and Waku Waku Sonic Patrol Car, offer the very basic plot we're all used to. Eggman is evil and does an evil thing, playing Sonic, or sometimes
okay.
another character says no.
I'm very
today.
surprised to
These
have that
events
game
aren't
mentioned.
or recalled again, so really they can kind of go anywhere, and therefore we'll be placing.
Guys, the real important question: where does Sonic Eraser fit into the timeline?
Based on their release dates.
Where
like
does
we
it
talked
fit
about
in?
Earlier. But there are some games that require a little more thought in terms of their placement, and almost all of them come from the classic Sonic era. For example, Sega Sonic the Hedgehog is an arcade game from 1993. The plot is once again the usual. The thing that's different here is the debut of characters Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel. So far in the timeline, a character's debut game has also been their introduction as a character, like Amy in Sonic CD, Cream in Sonic Advance 2, and Blaze the Cat in Sonic Rush. So this game has to be the first time we meet Mighty and Ray, therefore placing it before Sonic Mania Plus. And when it comes to being more specific, this is where Ian Flynn, a former writer of the Sonic Archie comics, current writer of the Sonic IDW
Ian
comics,
Flynn.
and the overall guardian of Sonic's lore, comes in
Ian Flynn
clutch.
burned my
Do you
crops
know
by
or have a theory
referencing
as to
Sonic
when
media
Sega
in my
Sonic
Sonic
takes place?
cartoon.
Sonic R.
And where does Sonic R take place? Or when?
Sometime after 3D Blast.
When does 3D Blast take place?
Sometime after Spinball.
When does Spinball take place?
Sometime after Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
That places Sega Sonic right here, and happens to also place Sonic R, Sonic Spinball, and 3D Blast.
Why? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying right now. Why is Ray so red here? What happened to Ray's color palette? Why does he look like really racist? Like, why is he just like colored like the rest of them, like he usually is? Or oh, I guess he did. He was like slightly darker, but not that dark. Like, come on, Sega. Sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
2. Ian, you're a hero. Placing Sega Sonic also helps us with another game that is surprisingly missing from the timeline, Knuckles Chaotix. This game introduced a bunch of new characters that now feel like staples in the franchise. Vector the Crocodile, Charmy the Bee, Espio the Chameleon, oh, and also Heavy and Bomb. But the key is the returning characters such as Knuckles and Mighty. This would mean that the game has to take place after Sonic and Knuckles 3, where we first meet Knuckles, and Sega Sonic, where we first meet Mighty. Same thing for Sonic the Fighters. It has to be before Sonic Mania due to the cameo appearance of Bark the Polar Bear, but Fighters is his debut appearance. However, there is...
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just seeing his timeline thing. That's his Superstars logo on the far right. Why is that before Mania? Because it's going from like right to left over here, right? Because it was like curved, right? Hold on.
Polar Bear, but Fighters is his debut.
Hold on.
Has to be before...
Hold on.
And Sega Sonic, where we first meet Mighty. Same thing for Sonic the Fighters. It has to be before Sonic Mania due to the cameo appearance...
Okay, wait. No. All right. I was wrong. Okay. Gamers, I was wrong. Gamers, I was wrong. I thought he was doing like the curvy thing and trying to say that Superstars came before Sonic the Fighters, which would have made no sense.
Of Bark the Polar
Bear,
but
that's where
Fighters
Nax shows
is his
up.
debut appearance. However, there is one spin-off that I have yet to mention. One that is plot heavy, enriches the lore of Sonic's world, but is never mentioned. Some of you may have never even heard of it, but it was a game that came out on the Nintendo DS in 2008, and I loved it. It's called Sonic Chronicles.
It's not canon! It's not canon! It's not canon! It was evaporated from the timeline because Ken Penders didn't want people using his Sonic OCs. So it doesn't matter. The game does not exist in Sega's eyes. It does not exist. You will never see this game mentioned at any point in any Sonic game ever, because as far as Sega is concerned, this doesn't exist.
The Dark Brotherhood. The reason people forget about this game is because Sonic Chronicles was an RPG, which is not what we've come to expect from our spiny blue boy. You can have all of your favorite characters join the team, like Knuckles, Shadow. You could even have Big the Cat on your team. But it was made pretty clear in the Sonic the Hedgehog Encyclopedia that this is a non-canon adventure.
Okay,
And
so
this
why is
book
this being
is
brought
written
up?
by Ian
Why is
Flynn,
it being
so
brought
you
up?
know that that's where Sega stands on this game. But what I've never understood was why they decided this game wasn't canon.
Chat, does he know? Does he know? Does he know of the lawsuits with Ken Penders? And that's the reason why this game never got a sequel and a continuation, and why it ends on a cliffhanger that's never resolved ever again? Does he know? Is he just going to ignore that? If he does ignore that, then I'm going to assume that's why this video has not very great reception. Oh, okay, that's a pretty actually good like to dislike ratio, but I'm not sure how accurate this is. But I've been hearing that this is a very like inaccurate video, but like so far, most of what he's saying makes sense. You know, makes sense. It's just strange that. Did he even, like, bring up the fact that Blaze premiered in both Sonic 06 and Sonic Rush at, like, the same time? I don't think he brought that up. I don't think he did. So what's the situation with that? Or the fact that, like, Silver is, like, reintroduced in, like, Sonic Rivals? Or I guess he'll get around to that, maybe? We got like 12 minutes of the video. Let's just move on.
Game's plot gives us way more backstory on the echidnas, and overall, it's a pretty well told story. So on this occasion, I'm gonna break the rules a little bit, and I'm going to ignore Sega and prove that this game can fit into the canon timeline.
No, it fucking can't. It literally ends on a cliffhanger where Eggman wins, and it's never resolved. Spoilers for people who are watching me stream the game. That's right, I already know how the game ends.
In Chronicles,
but this guy probably doesn't.
Tribes, the Knuckles clan and the Nocturnus clan. These clans go to war, and then the Nocturnus clan create the Gizoids that are already mentioned in the timeline 2,000 years ago, which helps explain where they came from. Then, in order to combat the Gizoids, the Knuckles clan wanted to use the Master Emerald, which is where the story from Sonic Adventure comes in, where Chaos appears and wipes out the Knuckles clan. This obviously is mentioned in the timeline, but it is said to happen much earlier than the creation of
high piss.
So, if we are going to add
how are you
Chronicles
doing?
to this timeline, both these events
I'm
need
losing
to
my
come
mind
together and take place in the thousands of years ago section. As Chronicles lore states, these events occurred 4,000 years ago. But that's just the past events that we've been able to place. We also need to know where the present day events of the game take place in this timeline. To solve for that, we need to look at some of the characters in the game. For example, Cream the Rabbit is a playable character, so that puts Chronicles after Sonic Advance 2. Another character or enemy in Chronicles is the Gizoids. You encounter them many times during the game, but after the team's first encounter,
I didn't know that the Gizoids were in the game. Oh, that's cool.
They already know what they
Spoiler.
are, and asking
Spoiler
how the
for a game
Nocturnus
from
clan got
10
one. This
almost 10
means
years
they've
ago.
already met Emerald from Sonic Battle, so it has to be after that. And those same Gizoids help us know which games it's before in the timeline as well. See, when we meet Emerald in Sonic Battle, Eggman takes control of him to become a destroying machine, and Emerald knows the only way to stop it is to self-destruct, rather than letting Tails try to fix him. Tails then goes on to state that one day, when the world is a better place, they may be able to rebuild Emerald. And that right there is proof that the Gizoid technology is beyond Tails' ability. They couldn't fix him when he was malfunctioning and had to accept that Emerald had to self-destruct. But that is not the case in another game that features
I
Gizoids.
do want
In
to play
Advance
Sonic Battle,
3,
but like
Eggman
the
creates
controls in
Gemerald,
that
an
are
upgraded
so
version
ass.
of Emerald. Gemerald
But I
is
want to
the
play for
big
the story,
villain
because
of
apparently the
game,
story
and
is
in
really,
end,
really good.
Super Sonic defeats it. And at the end of the credits, we see Gemerald washed ashore. Tails then starts tinkering with this robot designed for destruction. And in the next few pictures, we see that Gemerald is now good. What that means is that between Sonic Battle and Sonic Advance 3, Tails has somehow managed to figure out Gizoid tech. But how could he have done that if Emerald is gone and there's no other Gizoids around? Because Tails fought extensively against the Gizoids during the adventures of Sonic Chronicles. And
Okay, but like, is there a scene where like Tails figures out the Gizoid technology in Chronicles? I haven't gotten around at that point. Also, yeah, Tails is just smart, and he eventually like figures out how to build shit because he's a fucking 8-year-old genius. So like, I think it would be safe to assume that he could like study how the Gizoid technology works during all this time. And then help out Gemerald instead. Also, like, Gemworld is never brought up in the games, but he is in the comics, in the IDW comics, which is interesting. I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, but like all of this just to explain how Sonic Chronicles should be in the canon when it's not, for mostly legal reasons, which he doesn't seem to bring up at all. Because he's like, I don't know why they could have possibly have left this game out. It's because of the lawsuits. It's because of the lawsuits, brother. The lawsuits! Anyway.
So now has a better understanding about what makes them tick. This puts the events of Sonic Chronicles nicely in between Sonic Battle and Sonic Advance 3. Wow, for a game that's considered non-canon, it's actually a great addition to the timeline, learning more about Knuckles' origins as well as all the Gizoids. Now, with all of these spin-offs and mainline games added to the timeline, it is looking beautiful. Every game Sonic has touched is now canon and is included here. So, that's the end of the video, right? I make a funny joke, say the thing, except there is one big, giant problem that exists with this timeline. Something that's been staring at us since the beginning. I'm, of course, talking about the infamous, the broken, the human hedgehog romance game that is Sonic 06. Sonic 06 makes a few appearances across the timeline, and that's due to the story of this game involving time travel, which, as we all know, makes things really simple. But the big issue is how the end of the game is resolved. In order to Solaris,
they reset the event so that Sonic 06 never happened. So
flames of Solaris. This
technically Sonic 06 isn't canon, I guess.
Solaris project,
but it is, but it isn't. It's strange.
Events of the game are completely undone, and no one is able to recall any of it. We're familiar with this kind of stuff thanks to the Zelda timeline, where, due to certain events being changed in the past, the timeline splits. But Sega didn't do that with Sonic 06, instead keeping the timeline as linear. If we're going to the effort of making this timeline correct, we need to add a split in the timeline. The events of Sonic 06, including the 200-year time jump to Silver's world, should appear in one timeline and Sonic blowing out Solaris in another. The question is, which one is part of the main timeline with all the games we've talked about so far, and which one becomes the branching alternative path where those games don't exist? Well, the answer comes down to two of the other problematic parts of 06, Blaze the Cat and Silver the Hedgehog. As I've mentioned, Blaze was introduced in Sonic Rush, where she is transported to Sonic's world from the Soul dimension.
Right, and as I've said before, in like most like bio summaries where she is included, it just says that she's like from another dimension. It says nothing about her being from the future, along with Silver. So what I'm assuming what happened is that I don't know. Maybe this was like supposed to be like an alternate timeline, Blaze, where she's part of this the Sonic universe or something, right? Because like I really fucking wish that this is the only time I'm ever gonna say this. I really wish that Sega did not include Blaze in Sonic 06, simply because it complicates things and she added nothing to the plot. You could literally remove Blaze from Sonic 06's plot and nothing would change. Even with her, like, at the end of Silver's campaign, sealing Iblis, it didn't really accomplish anything because they still have to beat Iblis again, or not Iblis, but like Solaris, and therefore it would beat Iblis in the future. Time travel is fun. Time travel is fun. Still not sure why Sonic 06's plot was such a mess.
Because this game came out before Sonic 06, it was placed as such in the timeline. But Blaze is also in Sonic 06, not as a character from Sonic's time, but as Silver's companion 200 years into the future. The first question fans have been asking is, how does Blaze exist 200 years in the future, but also exist in Sonic's time, albeit in a different dimension? I believe this is due to the events at the end of Silver's story in 06. When Silver goes back in time to defeat Iblis, he tries to seal it inside himself, but it won't work. Blaze then offers herself as a sacrifice, and it works, and she fades away. A lot of people have taken this moment to be Blaze's death, but there are two separate things that tell us something different. The first one is what Blaze tells Silver to do during the cutscene.
Come on, make it quick. Use your chaos control to stop time. Then seal us into a different dimension. destruction!
And the second comes from the Sonic Encyclopedia, where Ian Flynn states, Blaze seals Iblis inside herself and is lost to another dimension. In both cases, it is clear that Blaze fades away as she is sent to another dimension.
Okay, that part I actually didn't know. That part, I don't remember that bit from Sonic 06. Probably because I was like so stressed out from having to play the silver levels the entire time. But, I guess that makes sense? But like, she's like the princess in her dimension. How would she have like acquired that power if she was from a different dimension? Sonic 06 makes me angry.
The Soul Dimension, where she then ends up back in the main series timeline during the events of Sonic Rush. But now there's a different issue. In Sonic Rush, she assumes Sonic is bad news, and Sonic has to convince her otherwise. She has no clue who he is. So if Blaze met Sonic in 06 and then was sent back in time to the Soul Dimension, why does she not remember him? Well, Takashi Iizuka, Sonic 06's creator, actually made a statement on this and why no one remembers any of the events of 06. He said, quote, basically, what happened is everyone had like amnesia. This amnesia includes Blaze and Silver and is why Blaze has no recollection of Sonic in Sonic Rush.
Yeah, he also said that like the reason why we don't see the moon blown up after Sonic Adventure 2 is because the moon is at a different angle. That's literally his explanation for that. Like, oh, the moon is like turned around so that you can't see the blown up parts, and that's why we don't include it in every game. It's so stupid.
But if that's the case, why would Sonic not recognize Blaze after Sonic Rush in 06? Well, because of the timeline split. If Sonic doesn't recognize Blaze in 06, maybe that means that 06's Sonic never met Blaze prior to this moment.
No, it's because they don't even interact. I mean, yeah, I guess she's also there, but she doesn't really like say anything to him.
As in, 06's main game isn't part of the main timeline we've been discussing, but is the branching alternative path. A timeline where Sonic Rush hasn't happened, and so Sonic wouldn't recognize her in 06. That would mean that Blaze's dimension swap from the end of 06 to Sonic Rush isn't just a dimension swap, it's also transporting her from this timeline to the primary timeline where Sonic reset everything by blowing out Solaris. I understand it feels complicated, but it does work, especially when you consider what we see from Silver in the rest of the series. Silver appears in multiple future games like Sonic Colors, Sonic Forces, and Team Sonic
Sonic Colors, but only the DS version, but alright.
Racing. He doesn't remember any of them, and they don't remember him. You might think this is because of the whole amnesia thing again.
But he's reintroduced in Sonic Rivals, which he does not mention, or specifically Sonic Rivals 2. That's right. Gamers. That's right. I remember things from games that I never played.
But there's actually a different explanation, thanks to another game that Sega neglected to put in their timeline.
Oh, no,
Sonic
never mind.
Rivals. Specifically, Sonic
Never mind, he
Rivals
does bring it up,
2.
never
In it,
mind.
Silver reveals that a creature called the Ifrit is the reason that his future is a fiery ruin, not because of Iblis like we see in 06. Therefore, this future is the future where Solaris never existed. And so, this Silver never met Sonic and the gang, because without Iblis, he had no reason to go back to the past to try to kill Sonic. Him then showing up in all of these mainline titles with no memory of 06's events is once again showing us that 06's main story is the alternate branch, and Sonic's reset is what ends up being the main timeline leading to the rest of the series, including Rivals and Silver's new future. But if that's the case, why does Silver appear in these future titles? Because of the first Sonic Rivals. He travels from the future to stop Eggman Nega.
I keep forgetting that he's in the first one.
We know and hate. When Silver
because
encounters Sonic, he introduces himself.
There's not really a whole lot of story in that one.
Which is why Silver then continues to travel back in time and help Sonic in later games. See, the Rival series pretty much explains
God, I regret playing
all
Sonic
of the
Rivals 1.
continuity
Worst
issues
mistake of my
around
life.
Silver. At least, if it wasn't for something that then happens in Team Sonic Racing. In the original Japanese, before Sonic races against Silver, Sonic recounts when they first met. What happened to your energy from when we first met? Weren't you all like, I will destroy destroy you! And Silver says, I don't recall saying that. This recollection from Sonic is without a doubt when they met in Sonic 06.
But isn't he also like that in Sonic Rivals? Also, is that not like read as like a joke line? It's like I don't recall saying that. Is he like trying to like gaslight Sonic? Like, is he not just trying to be like, no, I don't recall being an asshole to you. I don't know.
For the future of the world, I will destroy you!
If someone had
That
shown
is
me
me.
this before the timeline was released by Sega, I would have said, this is a racing game, so it's not canon, and just moved on. But Sega have put it in their timeline, forcing it to be canon and forcing me to make sense of it. How could Sonic know that's what Silver said to him if they have no memory of that event? And in this current timeline, it's an event that didn't even happen. Sonic could only really know about it if someone happened to tell him. And that's exactly what happened in Sonic Generations. The Time Eater transports Sonic to White Space, where he relives some of his past adventures. One of those adventures is Crisis City. There's even a rival battle with Silver. This is where Sonic is told about the events of 06, and now knows what his and Silver's first encounter was like in the time split. But then why does Silver not remember? He was also in White Space, right? Well, not exactly. You see, the characters you freed in Generations were all present when the Time Eater came and grabbed them. These are the actual characters. Silver, however, is not present at the party when they are all taken away, meaning the Silver you fight in Generations isn't actually Silver, but a memory of him.
Hold on. I want to check something real quick. I want to check something. I want to see if he's in the introduction in the Sonic Generations remaster. I don't think he is. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Sonic Generations remaster cutscenes. I just want to double check. I just want to double check if this is something that they just like added in later. Yeah, sure. We'll look at this one. Just to be sure. Oh, yeah, nope. Silver's not in there. Silver's not in there, but Blaze is. So, you folks figure that out. I guess. Because Silver is a boss in this game. So... Man, nobody ever said that, like, the Sonic timeline exactly makes sense. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Sonic, Perfect Chaos, and a bunch of other bosses that you fight. It's not really him, and so he isn't learning about the memory like Sonic is. Wait, did I do it? Did I finally manage to make sense of the giant plot hole that is Sonic 06? Oh, get in! We now just need to figure out a more solid place for Sonic Rivals in this new arrangement, and we'll be home free. So, with Sonic Rivals being Silver's introduction to the cast, it needs to take place before he becomes a regular character in the background or party games. His earliest inclusion at the moment is in Sonic and the Secret Rings, which means Rivals has to be before that.
But why are you including, like, a party mode instead of, like, the actual main story where it would actually make sense for it to be his first appearance?
That's and likely after Riders, where he isn't playable, similar to Blaze. However, Blaze isn't mentioned or featured in Rivals. She only appears as a collectible card, which I would say is more of an Easter egg than something canonically lore relevant.
Also, can I just say, like, why is, like, the aliasing in this, like, so bad? Like, why does this look so blurry? Like, I know that there's, like, from, like, a PSP game, but you can emulate PSP games that have, like, much more crisp images than this. So, like, why does this look so bad?
So, because Blaze isn't in the game, and we've established that canonically Blaze became part of the team after Sonic Rush Adventure, that puts Rivals before Sonic Rush Adventure and after Riders. And the sequel also lacks Blaze, which tells me that once again, it takes place before Sonic Rush Adventure, making Rivals 2 a direct sequel. This also puts Eggman Nega's interdimensional attempts to rule the world nicely together, which isn't super.
Don't say his
important,
name
but
out
it's a
loud.
nice little
Don't say his
plot
name out
point.
loud.
And so, with that, loyal theorists, I present present to you the true Sonic timeline. It includes every game they have ever made. Games that needed to be added to help make sense of the continuity issues like Sonic Rivals. Games that were referenced but were missing from the timeline like Secret Rings. And even games that were considered not canon, we have found a home for in a way that makes sense and enriches the lore of Sonic's universe like Sonic Chronicles. I guess the only thing left to do now would be to explore some of the other continuities. With 06 showing us branching timelines are a thing, there is a chance that things like Sonic Boom, the Archie comics, the TV shows, even the movies could be added to this thing as extra branches that appear maybe earlier in the story.
How? How would you... Okay, listen, I know that the people behind Sonic Prime said that it was canon to the lore, but there's no way that it is. It makes absolutely no goddamn sense. But what does Sonic 06 have to do with it? Because, like, Prime is clearly its own thing. The movies are definitely their own thing. The Archie comics are also their own thing. We're not even going to touch Sonic Boom. What does any of this have to do with 06?
Although, maybe I'll let Lee handle some of that. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching.
World premiere on Game Theory.
Okay, so... I guess that wasn't, like, as bad as I heard it was, because I heard that they were saying some shit that, like, Forces comes after Frontiers. I thought I saw that in, like, a Twitter comment or something. But, let's take a look at the comments. Let's see what their thoughts were about this. You forgot about Memphilis. Oh, yeah, he does not mention Memphilis at all. Shadow Generation C shows up. This is true. But he remembers everything. Yep, he forgot about that. Tochi's Sonic Super Canon, like a huge revelation and not something that was known before Boom even came out. Yeah, why does he do that with like all like the spin-offs that are clearly not the same? Tom! No, Tom! Silver is real in Generations, Tom! He appears in the ending cutscene, Tom! 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 You got it wrong, Tom! Tom! Oh, wait. Hold on. The timestamp.
Be added to help.
Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, let's actually get a good view of the full thing. So... Okay. Let's get his look into this. Oh god, this looks so fucked. This is your definition of like making it more make sense? You think that this makes more sense? Okay, man. All right. Oh my god, he does include Sonic Eraser into the timeline. Okay, so wait, so time travel is its own Sonic Stops Solaris, and that loops back into Sonic 1 for some reason. Okay, then like a CD, Sonic 2, Chaos, Triple Trouble, Mean Bean Machine. None of these that matter. Cosmo Fighter. Okay. Game World. What the fuck is Sonic Game World? Drift. Sonic and Knuckles. Was this before? Was Sonic Drift before Knuckles? I guess it was. Pinball Blast, 3D Blast. Gotta make sure you distinct the two. Sonic R, okay, then Ray and Mighty, The Chaotix. Tales of Sky Patrol, which is just a spin-off of like a different game, but with Tails painted over it. Drift 2, okay, Sonic the Fighters, Mania, Superstars, yep, okay. Makes sense so far. Sonic 4? Sure, I guess. I guess those take place after that, but why not? Adventure. Shuffle. Advance. 2. Okay.
Includes every game they have ever made. Games...
Wait, why is Free Riders after Sonic Generations? Oh, wait, no. Free Riders is the shitty one on the Xbox Connect. Okay, never mind. Okay. Never mind.
That needed to be added to help make sense of the continuity issues like...
Wait, yeah, no, he does put Frontiers before Forces. What? Huh? But why? He never said why this does what it does. Was that just like an editing mistake? It makes no sense because I think that they actually mention Infinite in a cutscene in Sonic Forces. Like, it's like a one-off like comment or whatever. But it makes no sense. Why is Forces the latest game in the timeline? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. All right, pack your bag and go home, Tom. Pack your bag and go home. Pack your bag and go home. Put the fries in the bag, man.
Sonic Rivals. Games that...
Okay, all right. Well, we did that. We did that. Folks, now that we've done that, which one did y'all want to do first? Did you want to do the Gregory video or the Mario, wait, what is it? The Mario is Evil? Hold on. Mario is Evil. Hold on. Mario is Evil game theory. I think it had like a much more. There it is. Yes, this was it. Why Mario is Mental Part 1 and Part 2. I remember he said some really like unhinged shit in this one. Okay. Oh yeah, there's also Mario's a communist. Okay. Alright. Folks, I'm gonna let you decide. Do we want to do the Gregory video? Which, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna get out of that one. In terms of FNAF lore. Or, do you guys want me to look at Mario is Mental? You know what? We could save the FNAF thing for its own stream. Yeah, we can watch every FNAF video ever, and then I'll be all caught up with the whole lore. Okay, alright. Now here comes the real big question. Which we do first? Mario is mental? Or Mario is a communist? I mean, both of them sound really, really funny. Mario! Okay, that does not help. That does not help. Tell you what. Let's start with Mario is Mental.
Move over, Walter White. There's a new anti-hero in town, and his name is Mario Jumpman Mario.
Oh my god. That was such like an ancient meme. I keep forgetting how old Breaking Bad was. This was 2013. Oh my god. Oh my god, where does the time go? Where does the time go? This is 12 years old. Yes, the classic intro. Let's go. Classic. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what you need included in the new videos, Tom.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, where we put the O in Super Mario. Sorry, Super Mario. More like super villain, because behind those plump cheeks, that bulbous nose, and that 80s porn star mustache is a
porn star. Whoa,
man. And let me make it clear, no, that's not a joke.
He's just so serious in this one. He's so serious. He's got like fucking like Mario.exe or whatever. Oh my god.
This isn't a psych, fooled you guys moment like we did when we were disproving Mario's communist connections.
Okay, well this is a sign that we should probably watch the communist one first. No, you know what? I'm treating the communist one as if it's a prequel. It fits into my Sonic timeline. This fits into my game theory timeline, Mr. Matthew Patrick, I will have you know.
Nor is this mere speculation like when we looked at the franchise's link to staged kidnappings.
What?
No, after doing the research,
What was that about kidnapping? I'm sorry? What is that about? What does that have to do with Mario?
franchise's link to staged kidnappings. No, after doing the research, I am convinced that this so-called hero of the Mushroom Kingdom is in fact a murderous, womanizing animal abuser, a cruel, misanthropic sociopath. Do I have your attention now?
You had my attention at the beginning.
Theorists, because this one is going to be a doozy that will forever change how you feel about gaming's big.
Okay, what is that bird? What was that bird?
The warning signs were present from the very beginning. Donkey Kong for the arcade featured Mario's first appearance, but even in those early days, something was off. The story, as we know it, goes like this. A giant ape steals Mario's girlfriend and the heroic Italian must get her back. That's it. And it sounds good in theory, but have you ever stopped to consider why Donkey Kong steals the girl in the first place? Of course not. Raised on movies like King Kong and years of damsel in distress fairy tales, we just assume we're the good guys fighting the evil primate to save the girl. But you know what they say about assuming, don't
Guys,
you?
where does this fit in the Donkey Kong Bonanza timeline? Where does this fit in that game's timeline? I still need to play that game, but I don't have a Switch 2 because I'm too poor. Basically, Peach and Mario are into some kinky shit. But guys, this is Peach. This is Pauline. Totally different. I never understood why she has like such a good dress design change. Unless, hear me out, game theory. So this Donkey Kong is the grandparent of the Donkey Kong that we all know today. This guy turns into Cranky Kong in Donkey Kong Country, right? So would it not be correct to assume that this Pauline with like orange hair and a pink dress is a different Pauline? Or that this Jumpman Mario is the father of Mario Jr.? Mario Jumpman Mario Jr.? One might say.
Here's the truth, or rather, the rest of the story.
I don't
Did
know.
You know
It's
that
just a
Mario
hypothesis.
Was Donkey Kong's master? That he abused the ape, which is why DK broke free and stole away with Mario's GF to get even.
Except that.
Yeah, that's a factoid you don't.
Except this isn't even Mario, right? Because he was just Jumpman. He wasn't established as Mario yet until the NES game, or rather like the arcade game rather, the Mario Bros game. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like, listen, I don't have the Mario autism, but I feel like that's got to be like one of the most like basic facts to know about Mario.
Don't hear Nintendo trumpeting about their red-clad
Why am I-
cash cow.
Why am I
You would be
debating this?
100% correct,
Why am I
Bestie.
debating this?
Well, where does it say that Mario is DK?
You sound
The
fruity.
arcade game didn't come with a story, and ports to Atari and ColecoVision give a vague Mario must save the girl plot. Other sources, like Crack.com or Wikipedia, cite the book Geektionary, which I checked out. But here at GT, we try not to rest until we have primary sources.
And here at GT, we also have the worst Dragon Ball spin-off series, but also the best Super Saiyan transformation. Don't at me.
So I dug a little deeper and found this. I give you Donkey Kong Circus from the Game & Watch Gallery, the prequel to the original Donkey Kong, where we see Jumpman's side business, where he just so happens to be running a circus show, and the star attraction, Donkey Kong. DK juggling pineapples and avoiding fireballs, all while balancing atop a barrel, made to look
This
like
is
a
pretty
fool
fucked
forced to
for
burn his
for
hands,
a Game & Watch
scolded
game.
and laughed at
I'm not gonna
missing
lie.
a pineapple? Clearly not the proper way for a great ape to be treated. A master willfully putting his pet into uncomfortable situations, physically injuring them with fire.
What the fuck were those
laughing at
images?
And humiliating them? Mario's lucky that the Tanuki suit is the only thing that got PETA's attention.
Oh my god, fucking PETA with their goddamn game stuff. I don't understand how PETA is still around when it's been proven time and time again that all they do is just kill animals. but also scold people for mistreating animals, even though they do so much worse. They released like a whole like Pokemon game, didn't they? Like Pokemon Black and Blue, where you fight the Pokemon and see how bruised they are. And it's like, bro, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
Oh, but dear theorists, we've only just begun. If we're talking Mario's predilection for animal abuse, we don't even need to troll the obscure reaches of the Game & Watch gallery. Mario doesn't do much to hide his violent tendencies. In the wake of Donkey Kong, upset at being forced to climb girders for his girl, Mario punishes his freshly captured ape in their next game together, Donkey Kong Jr., where he tears Donkey Kong away from his son,
Donkey Kong Jr.
cages him up, and then
sorry,
uses
I just had to make that joke.
Defend his prize. In the final screen, Mario even whips birds to do his bidding. But what's worse than his treatment of the adult Kong is his abuse of the younger ape. Think about what we're seeing here. Mario is forcing a baby monkey to cheat death in order to rescue his father. Just look at the utter distress and fear on that poor ape's young face. In the third screen, he uses
he looks so upset, yeah.
To electrocute DK Jr. Let me reiterate that point. Mario, this icon of gaming, paragon of heroism, tries to electrocute.
But are we sure that's even Mario? Has that ever really been established?
A father who is put in danger and humiliated in a circus show run by a...
I think Peter has a fetish for harming animals while protecting against it. Yeah. That about sums it up, yes.
red-wearing carpenter who wields a whip. This is the behavior
because Mario isn't a carpenter. He's a plumber.
Gamers, and this is the information that Nintendo has been happy to silently sweep under the rug. But wait, that's not all. We're pulling all the skeletons out of the closet this time. Mario is an equal opportunity animal abuser. He also hates insects. Take for instance Wigglers, innocent, happy caterpillars that across the Mario franchise show absolutely zero intentions of ever hurting Mario. They have daisies on their heads for crying out loud. And what does our hero do? He ruins their home not once, but twice in both Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. Then, after trashing their homes, he proceeds to jump on them, crushing them to death. An innocent creature who did nothing wrong but get upset when his home was violated.
Correction. The thing that he did wrong was, he has my star. And I want my star. I gotta get my completionist points in. The thing about this is, you don't have to do this. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never actually done, like, a full playthrough of Mario 64. But you can do whatever levels that you want. Right? Like, you don't even, like, have to do this one. Like, you could just get all of the stars in, like, whatever order that you want, basically. In, like, each world. So, I guess it's like that one tweet from, like, the Doom developers where you control the buttons you press. So, it's your own fault, really.
From this perspective, Mario is no better than a child burning ants with a magnifying glass, torturing small insects just for fun. And Wigglers are only one of multiple examples. That's not even mentioning creatures like Cheep Cheeps, fish who are just swimming around peacefully, not even attacking Mario, who get targeted, burned alive by Mario's fiery vengeance.
Okay, so if they're harmless, then why is it that if they touch me, then I die? Explain that, Matthew Patrick. Explain! Explain with your Mario logic. Why am I debunking this? This is so dumb.
Let's cut the guy some slack. Wigglers and the rest are quote-unquote enemies in the game because, you know, Mario's supposedly the hero and stuff. What's inexcusable, though, is his mistreatment of his family and his allies. Take, for instance, the Yoshi. We learn in the beginning of Yoshi's Island that these cute dinos are responsible for saving Mario's life. To recap, a stork drops baby Mario, who, as luck would have it, lands safely on the back of a Yoshi. The rest of the game has a team of Yoshis risking their lives to reunite the baby with his kidnapped brother, then delivering the two back to their parents. A cute story, right? Heartwarming.
Right, yep,
Gets you right there. Well, fast forward to
Very
adult
heartwarming.
Mario, hopping once more atop his trusted and loyal friend to save the day, and wait, he just punched him. Look again. Mario punches the Yoshis to get them to extend their tongue. You can even see the Yoshi flinch before it happens. He is
I don't know if that's really flinching as much as it is like him like, okay, hold on. Does he like make contact? I guess. Wasn't it like, isn't there like art of him? It's like, is him like pointing? It'd be like him like, oh, go Yoshi, go eat the thing. Isn't not that? Am I thinking too much about this? I most definitely am. We're looking at Mario is Evil, the game theory video.
physically beating this animal to get it to do what he wants it to do. And let's not forget that Mario will drop a Yoshi into a pit without hesitation.
You control the buttons you press. You control the buttons you press. Nobody is forced to do that. You're not forced to drop Yoshi at any point. Everybody just does it for the fun of it. It's like saying that like he's evil for dropping the baby penguin off of the side of the cliff in Mario 64. The game doesn't force you to do that. Most people just do that because it's funny. That's it. That's it. It's not that deep, man. It's not that deep.
Inches out of his jump. A pit that, time and time again, has clearly been shown to result in death. Once again, we don't just see animal abuse, we see family abuse. Lest we forget, this is Yoshi, the same creature who had to deal with this and this to keep baby Mario safe. These tender-hearted dinosaurs are
Imagine
practically
a baby
family.
crying.
What do they
It
get?
could not be
A
me.
punch and a pit. Disposable like tissues. If only they had fed that obnoxious baby to a piranha plant, the Mushroom Kingdom would be a happier and safer
It's a
place.
baby.
Speaking
What
of
do you
abusing
mean?
family, though, this next one, in my opinion, is
that Kanye?
Mario's worst sin: his treatment of Luigi. Now, stop for a minute. And
Oh,
look at this
Cinema
guy.
Sins in my
He's an
2013.
adorable coward, an awkward
Cinema
wannabe
Sins
hero
in the
who
big
hates
2023.
The world of his brother.
2013.
Look at the way he reacts at the end of Luigi's mansion when he sees his brother is safe. Even though it's told mostly through gestures and goofy sounds, his joy is moving. Without doubt, Luigi is one of the sweetest, most genuine characters in gaming. In Paper Mario, you can read his secret diary, which goes on and on for pages about how much he admires Mario, how much he wishes he could go on these adventures, how he's asked over and over to be included on the next big quest. And what we read is that Mario has crushed those dreams, crushed them like the thousands of Goombas he's crushed under his fat Italian weight, denying his brother any
The
chance of
animation
fulfilling
here
his dreams
is so
of living a
retro.
happy life. But it
So
gets worse
retro.
with sheer neglect. Look at the ending of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Luigi flies in, offers Mario and Peach room in his balloon, and then they just fly off without him. They don't acknowledge his existence, they don't thank him, they don't invite him to fly with them, they just flat out ignore him. He is less than the Koopa remnant on the bottom of Mario's shoes. Luigi doesn't
Okay,
get
so
any
is
thanks at
Peach
the end
also
of
an asshole
Mario
then? Is she
missing
also
either.
evil?
After Luigi's completed this quest,
I guess.
Mario just strolls out and stands there. Stands there. No thank you, no nothing. Just staring at his brother like,
He's just standing there, menacingly. Also, I'm not entirely sure why we're including fucking Mario is Missing as a mainline game.
I hope you liked the lamest adventure in our franchise, bro, because that's the most you're ever going to get. But what's disgusting, and I mean disgusting, is Mario's behavior at the end of Mario Power Tennis. Yeah, we're pulling out the real obscure games to get to the heart of this jacket. Does it sound like I'm fired up? Yeah, cause I'm fired up.
He just sounds so intense. It's so funny.
For decades, that I have called him a hero, that I have been his fanboy. Here's why. In Mario Power Tennis, if Luigi wins, this is what happens. He celebrates. For once, this perpetual player 2, this second fiddle gets his chance in the spotlight. People are cheering for him. A stadium full of people are celebrating Luigi. He's holding a trophy, and what does Mario do? The brother who Luigi would love the approval of more than anything else. What does he do? Walks up to him, applauding, laughing, slaps him on the back, and then grinds his shoe into his brother's foot, stands there, and grinds it in.
Is that it? Is that the most like disgusting thing that you could think of? Also, tell me that you've never had a sibling without telling me that you've never had a sibling, because I've done worse with my siblings as a kid. I've done way worse. Growing up, we got into like fucking full on like fist fights. That's just how siblings are. This is like extremely tame, honestly.
Still smiling, still laughing. He's so
it's so tamed.
Good. Feeling good.
Oh damn. Oh my god, that's a long ass name. Soliman Masterblade. I probably butchered that. I'm just gonna call him Masterblade for short. You can call me Sue. Oh, okay, that also works. I've been subscribed to YouTube for a long time, but not gonna catch your streams until today. Well, welcome. So glad that you could stop by, Sue. We're looking at game theory videos. So far as the ones that we've looked at are the Stances Nest one, because of course we did. We looked at the Sonic Timeline one, which we paused a lot for because there was a lot to talk about. And now we're talking about Mario is Evil because I just think it's really funny. I just think that it's hilarious, actually. it's like the most tame shit. In MatPat in this video, it's just so graphically serious. Because again, this was like 2013 MatPat. Where like, it's not a joke. This is my genuine feelings about Super Mario. And it's goddamn hilarious.
Love or affection for anything or anyone, even his own brother. He's unwilling to let Luigi have even
They keep cutting back to that as if he fucking killed him. Like, what the hell?
smallest of victory in a game that no one cares about. And look at Luigi. His moment of glory is ruined. A brother he thought would be proud of him in this moment of victory instead trashes upon it. It flies completely against everything Luigi has ever associated with his brother, and the look on his face proves it. He's confused. He's bewildered. And we should be too. We've been lied to. And if nothing else I've talked about today shows Mario's disturbing, cruel nature, this moment, this willingness to smile in your face while doing something completely awful and selfish shows how evil he is. And you know what? There's more. Lots more.
Oh yeah, is there?
Torturing monkeys,
Please, I want to know how deep this goes. I guess we gotta watch part 2.
And beyond being a cruel, heartless brother, Mario's sins continue. So join me next week. Yes, next week as we conclude our trial of gaming's biggest icon, exposing his fondness for women and murder. Have I convinced you yet? If not, there's still plenty more to go.
Tell me MatPat was a theater kid without telling me. Wasn't he also like in Broadway? I think that's what that earlier joke was. Like, wasn't he also like doing a lot of like theater stuff like before doing game theory? Because I think I've seen that he's in like FNAF like music videos where he actually like sings and stuff. I don't think I've actually ever actually seen those, but it would explain a lot. It would explain so much actually.
A game theory. Thanks for watching.
He said the thing. He said the thing.
Click on one to vote. And before.
Oh my god. Guys, do you remember? Do you remember when annotations were a thing? Because that's what like this space is for. You either like click like yes or like no, and I guess it would link you to something. They don't really do that anymore. I'm actually surprised that I can like hide and disable these. What? Okay, this is clearly a more modern game theory thumbnail, but we're gonna skip over to Mario is Mental Part 2 with this beautiful, beautiful brain thumbnail. I miss them too. Okay, deep cut here, but does anybody here remember the series on YouTube called Stupid Mario Brothers? It was like this like live action show on YouTube. I call it a show. It was a series of videos with like these guys in like Mario costumes, and like, you know, you had the occasional like a snake and Zelda and whatnot. But they had this one like choose your own adventure thing, where if you click on like one part of a video and it leads you to like choices or whatever. It was basically kind of like the modern day equivalent would be In Space with Markiplier and stuff. It was really cool back then, and you can't do that anymore really unless you use like an extension or something to bring back annotations, and it's really sad. I don't know why they got rid of those. It's so upsetting, but I just wanted to ramble about that for a second. Let's move on to part 2. Let's move on to part 2.
The trial of Mario Jumpman Mario continues. Witness for the prosecution.
The brick. The brick was the victim that started it all. It was the brick all along. I should not remember ever watching part 2. Maybe I did, because I remember there being something about Daisy, but that's all I remember. It's been so long since I've seen these. PS3, Master System, Turco Graphics, 360, Wii. Oh yeah, this was like pre-PS4 era, wasn't it?
Welcome to Game Theory, where we, get this, theorize about games. Shocking, I know. But seriously, if
Oh
this
my
was
god,
the Matrix
that
by
Nick Cage meme. Oh!
About games. Shock.
The rage faces. Oh! I can feel myself rapidly aging looking at these. Holy shit.
I know. But seriously, if this was the Matrix, by watching this show, you'd be choosing the red pill. And that would make me Lawrence Fishburne. But white. Anyway,
See, this is why I wanted to watch the old map evidence, because they have such unhinged jokes out of nowhere. Wasn't there one about Luigi and Peach making Rosalina? I thought it was, yeah, there was like something about like either Peach is like Rosalina's mom or Rosalina is Peach's mom. I don't remember. That was so long ago.
sensitivity aside, as a
I've fallen, I
lifelong
can't get
Nintendo
up.
fan, no topic has gotten me more fired up than this one. The true nature of Mario. Trust me, it gives me no pleasure to tell you that Mario is an opportunistic animal abuser or cruel, unfeeling brother like I did in part 1 of this duology, but the truth has been hidden from us long enough. Electrocuting baby apes,
Right,
trampling
yes,
his
yes.
brother's victories.
The
These
most
aren't
tame thing
necessary
ever.
for saving the Mushroom Kingdom. Instead, these are the moments that show his true personality, the one hidden behind his plastered-on smile and joyful Yahoo! And while last episode started the sin counter, we're far from through as we dig through Mario's betrayal of both the woman and country he's trying to save. By the end, we'll have a pretty strong and surprising diagnosis.
What is that him? Holy hell.
The end, we'll have a pretty strong and surprising.
God damn. You're not gonna get this energy out of like game theory videos these days, I don't think. You'll never get like random images of like Mario staring at Peach's ass.
diagnosis of what's going on inside the head of gaming's biggest mascot. So let's talk for a minute about Mario the Man Whore. Sure, we all know that Princess Peach is Mario's
was he
main
fucking the
squeeze
companion
now,
coup?
but it's easy to overlook his flings with other women. Take for instance Pauline. The girl stranded atop the girders in Donkey Kong may appear to have the same fashion sense as the Toadstool Princess, but one look at the promotional box art of our damsel in distress shows us that Pauline is a very different type of gal. Wearing tight, low-cut red dresses, Pauline is certainly a departure from the buttoned-up, kiss-on-the-cheek prone Peach.
Are you-
Oh, Mario.
Are you calling my mayor of New Donk City a whore? Mr. Matthew Patrick? Are you calling mayor of New Donk City a less cultured woman, Mr. Matthew Patrick? How dare you?
And yes, while Pauline and Mario were in love long before Mario's adventures in the Mushroom Kingdom began, the feelings that drive a man to leap over anthropomorphic fireballs to rescue his ladylove die hard. Case in point, the Mario vs. Donkey
Can you believe
Kong series, where
the fact that this man not only is like now like married and has a child, but is now like he's in politics now, kind of? Like, isn't he like part of like Congress or something now? And now he's also in like the FNAF movie, not just the first one, but also going to be voicing a full-on character in the second one. Yeah, hold on. Let's take a brief moment to like look up where game Mr. MatPat is now. Is MatPat now? Okay, I don't want an AI overview. Hold on. MatPat politician. I think he's in like pretty much like in politics now. Political advisor and former YouTuber. Yeah, he's in Congress now. Yeah, and there is. This is like the first image that they have of him. Oh, he's so grown up. Oh, gross. Yeah, but I'm gonna get my information from Wikipedia as God intended, and not like ChatGPT. Excuse me. Right. Yes. Okay. In June 2025, he helped establish the Creator Economy Caucus in the United States House of Representatives. So yeah, he's kind of in politics. Kind of. He's a consultant. President and CEO of Theorist Media. and yes, he does have a child. So MatPat canonically fucks. So get that through your system.
After years of absence, Pauline makes her grand return as Mario's quote-unquote special guest.
MatPat
For
get
those
Matt
of you
was
unfamiliar with this more obscure series, Mario is debuting a new theme park based around his hit
I remember
toy line,
playing
and
this
his
game on my
VIP
DS
guest
back in
at
the
ribbon
day.
cutting is Pauline.
I think I was playing this on like a friend's
Now,
DS
as a
actually.
committed man myself, I speak with authority.
Oh my god, is that future Mrs. MatPat? Is that who that is? Is that who that is? Future Mrs. MatPat, damn. Why was his suit so green?
You do not invite another woman as your date to any sort of function ever, especially if she is a former girlfriend. Later, in Miniland Mayhem, she even gets her own
Is it
soy
Stephanie? I
box
guess so.
after her. There's no Peach toy. And speaking of old habits dying hard, when DK kidnaps her and Mario comes to the rescue, she refers to him as her hero. If there were any more red flags flying in this situation, I'd say that this was a communist conspiracy. Oh.
Guys, we gotta watch the communist one after this. We have to, right? I mean, if he's gonna keep bringing it up, then I gotta watch it eventually. Oh my god, is that the old YouTube UI at the bottom? Oh my god, I think it is. It's slightly better than what we have now.
Oh, wait, and before you leave waves of comments about this being
I accidentally
either
paused at the
before
best
or
time.
after a Peach Mario celebrity breakup, timelines agree that the MVDK series
God, we're going back to timelines.
at the same time as New Super Mario and Super Mario RPG, a point in time.
What? Huh? Hey, how does that make any sense? Wait, how does New Super Mario Bros. Come after Legend of the Seventh Star? This is more confusing than the Sonic timeline. And you guys think that, like, Sonic timelines are confusing. You guys think that, like, Sonic timelines are confusing, and yet we have New Super Mario Bros. Comes before Super Mario RPG.
And when Mario is very clearly committed to the princess in pink. And even if you don't believe in Mario timelines, Nintendo has gone on record saying that this DK is an ancestor to this one. So clearly some time has passed with these two maintaining a very close relationship. Sorry, Peach, looks like Mario may be having his cake and eating it too. Aha! But let's not forget Mario's other girl, Daisy.
Okay. Oh, question. This was like 2013. What was the latest Mario game at this time? October 2013. Okay, hold on. Mario games in 2013. I'm trying to think of, like, was this like oh yeah, this was around the time when 3D World was out. I kind of figured. Because, I mean, obviously Odyssey wasn't a thing yet, but, like, damn. I think you should watch the Link timeline. Oh god, that sounds like a whole other thing. Here's the thing. I don't exactly have that much knowledge when it comes to, like, Zelda timeline stuff. Because when I see that, brain go hurty. So I feel like we might say that for another time. Who's to say that we won't do, like, another game theory reaction video? In fact, I feel like we might save, like, the FNAF ones for another day. Because really, I'm super invested in doing this, and then maybe the last one that we'll do is Mario being a communist, because I think that's just a really funny one to end on.
But Daisy is Luigi's girl, I hear you thinking. That's right, I can hear your thoughts. Daisy may be Luigi's
I know
girl
you can hear
now,
my thoughts,
but
boy.
Everyone seems to forget her
I think
origin
things that I would
story.
never
Princess
say.
of Sarasaland. She made her first appearance in Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. And yes, while the manual and promotional material may bill this as Mario saving just another princess out of the kindness of his heart, there's no denying what you see in the final scene of the game. "Oh, Daisy, Daisy," he cries out when seeing her. Now, I'm sorry, but that's not how a friend greets another friend. Names only get repeated in romantic settings.
I'm sorry. This fucking image. What is this image? What fanfic.com image is this? Oh my god, this really takes me back to when people were making all kinds of fanfics of, like, Sonic and Peach and other Sonic Mario characters just going at it. Holy shit.
Need more proof? Boom! That heart tells you everything you need to know about what's going on here. And once again,
my god.
timelines list this game as occurring right after this. So very clearly, this is still very much a thing. And wait! This also means that, once again, we see Luigi getting the shaft. Mario dates a woman, tosses her aside, still expects her to play golf.
Wait, hold on. He did a theory about how Honey Pop makes you better getting girls? Did he did a video on Honey Pop? The porn Candy Crush game? I mean, listen. I remember enjoying me Honey Pop back in the day. I don't think it helped me get women. I really don't think it did. I don't think Honey Pop is the reason why I'm currently with Vicky in the modern day. Yo, we watched some game theory. Indeed, we are. This was like a really old one. This is from 2013. It is so unhinged and so fucking funny.
with them, and Luigi is left with the sloppy seconds. The hand-me-downs. The girl apparently not good enough to stay in Mario's little harem, so if Mario's crimes against animals and family aren't good enough, it seems he's also an adulterous plumber who can't keep his plunger in his pants. And
Oh my god!
the heart
Yeah,
aren't
Matt, I
even
don't think
serious.
you can do
His
that on
ultimate betrayal is
YouTube.
against the very people he's trying to protect. The denizens of the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario is a murderer. This
Very
hero
quirky
of
map,
the
huh, thank
Mushroom
you.
Kingdom has killed hundreds, thousands of toads in his quest to save them from the evil clutches of Bowser. Look at the story from the original Super Mario Brothers. Quote.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I remember this bit.
By the Koopa, black magic. Ah, there we go. The quiet, peace-loving mushroom people, aka toads, were turned into mere stones, bricks, and even field horsehair plants, whatever that is. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. The only one who can undo the magic is the
Okay.
Princess Toadstool. There you have it. Each and every brick you shatter is someone you were supposed to be saving. And the game takes it
Oh
one
my
step further,
god!
rewarding you for killing them, giving you points for each and every block.
Guys, this
you
was
smash.
Harvester before Harvester,
Points for
rewarding
killing
you for
people.
murder.
That's what happens when you play the anti-hero. Games like GTA, Overlord, Prototype, not
What the fuck? Okay, hold on. What the hell is Overlord?
hero. Games like GTA, Overlord.
What the hell is Overlord? I've never heard of that. What in God's name is Overlord? I mean, it looks like a Skyrim type game, I guess.
Prototype.
Never heard
not
of this.
Mario Brothers. And if the original games were bad, look at his behavior with a Mega Mushroom. Look at his utter lack of concern for anything in his way, knowing full well that each and everything in
Again,
front of him
Map
is an
Head,
actual
you control
resident
the
of
buttons you
kingdom.
press.
He even celebrates his massacre when he finishes. And while we're talking about his murderous tendencies, let's talk for a minute about Mario's preferred method of
You play as a villain in that game?
death,
Oh, that sounds neat.
crushing. Well, the game makes it seem all for fun.
Is a game where you play as an evil overlord and command a bunch of evil minions to terrorize a countryside. I've never heard of that. That sounds kind of neat, actually.
It's pretty disturbing when you think about it. In fact, to prove the point, let's get morbid for a second here while I tell you a story. In Southeast Asia, as recently as the late
Oh my god, here we go. I love it when
popular
game theory
form of
videos.
execution
I love it when game theory videos, for some reason, dive into like some like ancient like history and lore and stuff that's completely unrelated to whatever they're talking about. Like, you'll be hearing about like how the ancient Egyptians have built the pyramids, and then follow it up with the underwater pyramids in Minecraft or the Ender Dragon or whatever. I love when I see out of context clips that just dive into shit like this. It's so good.
was by elephant. One variation involved elephants trained to crush each and every limb of a prisoner's body that wasn't vital, shattering the arms and legs, letting the victim slowly suffer as long as possible before
And that's what leads into
its
Super Mario
full
Bros.
weight
Wonder, where you
onto
turn
the
into an
victim's
elephant,
head and chest,
crushing enemies to
crushing the
death.
bones, spraying brains and viscera everywhere. Now, did that make you uncomfortable? Make you cringe?
Not really.
Do you see yourself being repulsed by that sort of thing? Good! Because it's normal for someone to
Oh.
react that way, you know?
Wait, hold on. Strangely aroused. You hopefully paused the video and went to vomit. What do you mean, strangely aroused? This better not awaken anything in me.
Who doesn't? Mario. In fact, he relishes in it, yipping and yee-hawing as he leaps from one flattened corpse to the next. He has no sense of guilt, no sense of remorse. Police officers forced to kill in the line of duty have second thoughts. Soldiers forced to kill on the battlefields often suffer from PTSD. Bad guys or no, Mario should be feeling something, anything other than joy, knowing that he's ending the existence of so many living creatures.
I found the video. Okay, hold on. Let me take this. What is this? What is this? Hold on. Is this the correct game theory video? The correct one about Gregory. Oh, it's the Hooney Pop one.
And now,
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, 2016. That's not that long ago compared to the other one. And the sequel? Okay. I think the sequel is like right here. I don't know if we're gonna watch these ones because we have been going on for almost like 3 hours. And I do want to end this with Mario's a Communist, but hey. I can add that to the list. I can add that to the list for next time if we want to do more of these. How do you feel about these, by the way? Do you think that this is like a fun thing? Because I was a little hesitant going into this at first, but like now I'm having a real good time looking at this.
you know who else doesn't have any remorse for their crimes? The Joker, Hannibal Lecter's sister.
I'm a Joker, baby. Wahoo! I don't. He's just comparing Mario to the goddamn Joker and Hannibal Lecter. Oh my god.
Hyde, Ted Bundy, Lumberjack Dexter. These are all men with antisocial personality disorder, actual psychopaths, and Mario fits right in. They're all men characterized by their inability to form attachments or have any real empathy for others, despite being charming and personable on the outside. They hold steady jobs, even have families, girlfriends, but can be impulsive and sexually.
I don't think 3D World was out by this point.
They learn to mimic emotions.
Now I'm thinking about it, because it's all like Galaxy seems to be like the newest game at this point, just from the footage,
everything around them,
or at least Galaxy 2.
Having no remorse for their actions. Deep down, they're arrogant. And to bring it all the way back around to where these two videos first started, oftentimes the first sign of someone with antisocial personality disorder is their cruelty toward animals. Every single crime we've leveled against Mario across these two videos fits into this diagnosis. Animal cruelty, unloving brother, sexually deviant, remorseless murderer. I can definitively say Mario has.
Guys, you have to play the pacifist route of Super Mario.
Behind that plastered on smile, behind that perpetually happy Hitsame is a monster. A man who has proven himself to be a threat to everything and everyone around him. He is no hero. We just haven't stopped to question him until now. Who would have thunk it? Mario, the most successful, unidentified serial killer ever. In the end, though, if you think about it, it makes sense. There was only ever one piece of evidence we really needed to prove Mario's evil intentions.
Uh-huh.
Damn you, blue shells.
Oh, okay.
So I bet you never knew that about Mario.
That was just
click
the
here to hear
funny
some
meme.
More things you probably didn't know about the guy and his games.
Oh, okay. I'll click there. 1 second.
But hey, it's
it's not working.
just
Damn.
a theory, a game theory.
He said the
So I
thing.
partnered with DYK Gaming to cut the guy some slack and
He
really
said the
give
thing,
him
everybody. He
what
said the
deserves.
thing.
So hop on through the warp pipe to check out some more Mario MatPat action over there at.
Oh my god. Okay. What are the comments on this one? I'm so curious. I'm so curious. Does Bowser know if Mario's insanity is actually trying to save Princess from the plumber? Oh my god. Oh my god, they're taking it seriously. It's so cool to see how far Matt has gotten in life. Oh yeah, this is like a more recent one. Oh my god. Guys, Mario is a murderer. I do wonder if anyone's ever tried to do like a Mario pacifist challenge or something like that. I think that I could actually make like a fun stream or something. Just like playing like Mario or Sonic or whatever, but without hitting a single enemy, because I feel like you could do that if you really wanted to. But we're gonna end things off with or maybe we'll do like one more and more after this. I'm not really sure yet, but I really want to watch Mario is a communist. I really want to see what this one's about. Okay, so this was like the same year, right? Oh, this was like slightly earlier, July instead of October, but still like 2013. I need to see what he thinks of Mario as a communist, because this is like pre-woke era, before we do that. Communists were like, I don't know, kind of good actually, when you really think about it. So I'm so interested. Let's see.
Break out the borscht and pierogies, comrades, cause it's time to celebrate a true Soviet hero.
Why was this audio so crusty? Is this copyrighted music? Oh yeah, this. Okay, this is probably gonna get me copyright struck, so I'm just gonna leave that. There we go.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory. Slightly funnier than Carlos Mencia. Slightly. Who knew that the Super Mario
Don't know who that
franchise
is.
was
Very
so
dated
complex?
reference.
In Game Theory's most watched episode, The Problems with
Oh my
Princess
god, this is what the old thumbnails looked like? Did they change those? Hold on.
was so complex. In Game
Hold on. Okay, what are these? What are these theories? Okay, so Fallout, Pokemon, PETA, and Plasma. Oh my god, were they in on like PETA being correct? Why is Mike Tyson in this one? Why is Kanye's ass just in this one? Okay, why Final Fantasy is anti-religion? Mike Tyson's techno dance party. Oh my god, this old fan art of like Zero Suit Sam. Oh my god, damn, that fan art though of Samus. Goddamn. How much is Minecraft armor? Pokemon versus Evolution. Oh, this one I know is very, very infamous. Determining the gender of the Pyro from Team Fortress 2 for some reason. It has to do with like fingers or something. I don't know. The official Zelda timeline is wrong. Is that the one that people wanted me to look at? I'm not entirely sure. How fast is Sonic the Hedgehog? Okay, that's another one that we should look into at some point. Alright.
Theory's most watched episode, The Problems with Princess Peach, we dove into Toadstool's psychological issues, the kidnapping conspiracy between her and Bowser, and the fact that Super Mario Bros. 3 may actually be a stage play. Then
What do you mean maybe a stage play? Wasn't that always like a fact of it always being a stage play? Wasn't that always like a very established thing that Mario Bros. 3 is a stage play? I don't think you needed a theory video on that. The Zelda timeline as well. That's the one that you wanted me to watch? Okay.
Coming up in a few weeks, I plan on looking at what the series can teach about quantum mechanics, because, you know, we didn't get enough of that during the BioShock Infinite episode. But while all this may be shocking, it pales in comparison with
Mr. Bucket! from the famous Board James episode about Mr. Bucket. Me with his funky balls.
That Mario is a communist sympathizer. Trust me, when loyal theorist Deadly Sin asked me to look into this at the SGC Gaming Convention, Skeptical Matt was skeptical until I discovered
that's how old that video is? Oh my... The photo, I mean? Oh my god. I thought it was more recent.
Japan's political history points in the direction of our platforming plumber being a comrade from the motherland. So is Mario Jumpman Mario more Russian than Dolph Lundgren in Rocky 4? We're done Stalin. Time to find out.
Oh my god, there's gonna be so much Russian jokes in this, isn't there?
Rap Battle Season 2 finale.
Oh my god, epic rap battles. Epic rap battles of history. Okay, that takes me back. That takes me back. I know that there's still technically a thing, but they don't really post that often these days because they've gone full indie. Folks, how probably not that interesting. But wouldn't it be like kind of funny to do like a tier list of like every epic rap battle of history? Because there's so many of these. We'd have to do it season by season, but it might be kind of fun. I'd probably have to do that with a guest, probably, because there's no way that I'm listening all these songs by myself.
Here's a quick 2-minute refresher for your Russian history. The period
That
leading
one
up
face.
to World War I was a difficult time for Mother Russia. In order to finance the war, the government began printing millions and millions of ruble notes. And
Who
this
are you
caused
people?
massive inflation.
I'd watch
Prices
it,
for
an epic
food
rap battle.
skyrocketed,
Tier list.
quadrupling in the span of 4 years.
You know
but
what?
workers
Sure.
saw no change in
One day.
pay, meaning that no one could actually afford to feed themselves. It literally took wheelbarrows of money to pay for one loaf of bread. Poor sanitation, dangerous work conditions, hours of slave labor that afforded them nothing. You could see how people were angry, and they were angry at the king, or in Russia's case, the Tsar. Tsar Nicholas II. On March 7th, 1917, the February Revolution... Wait, seriously? The February Revolution happened in March? Fail, Russia, fail! Saw the people overthrow
my God.
Nicholas and his
Show
royal
up someone got
family.
fired for that
Enter
blunder.
Communism, a movement to create a classless, moneyless society in which everyone, from the working class proletariat to the rich bourgeoisie, shares the wealth. This was the teachings of Marx. The other one. The other one. Is that really him? Wow, he looks like a cross between socialism and Santa Claus. To the fed-up Russians, a system
Okay.
in which everyone shares the wealth seemed pretty good. And on November 7th of 1917, the October Revolution, you can probably see a pattern there, the communists took over. Now, for those of you who weren't forced to read Animal Farm
Maybe the
4
October
times during your high school
resolution
career,
started
there are 3 important
in
communists
October
to know:
31st. You don't know.
Lenin, Stalin, and Trotsky. This one led the Bolshevik Party in the October Revolution and did a lot to transform Russia into a socialist state before he was taken down by the Sith. After his death, this one got screwed over, exiled, and assassinated by this one, who took power, screwed everything up, and was responsible for nearly 20 million deaths via his secret police, famines, and purges.
Okay, question though. What does any of this have to do with Mario? We are 3 minutes in. What the fuck does any of this have to do with Mario? This is why I wanted to watch this, because I'm like, at what point does this connect to the Bing Bing Wahoo man?
Put Stalin's actions in perspective, compare him to Hitler, whose Holocaust killed 12 million people. Any way you slice it, not nice guys. And that, dear theorists, is everything you need to know.
Yeah, I've heard things about Hitler.
And past the
Not a fan,
Russian
honestly.
world
Not a fan.
history. So how could Mario possibly be seen as communist propaganda? Well, slap my buns and call me Joseph McCarthy, because we're going to expose this supposed Italian for what he really is. Let's start with his design. What color is Mario most associated with? Red. Ever wonder why red was chosen? The classic story is that it was to contrast against the blue background, which would make sense if red was truly the color opposite of blue, but it's not. On any color wheel, orange is the color that is directly across from blue, and orange has just as many shades of red, if not more, in the NES color palette. How much orange is used in the game? Next to none. How much red was used? A lot.
Yeah? So it's red, therefore it's communist? So does that mean that like Sonic is capitalist because he wears blue? Or that he is blue? But wait, is he part communist because he wears red shoes? I don't know. Again, I pointed this out early in the stream of like, you know, when the teacher asked you, the curtains are blue in this scene. Do you think that represents something about the characters like depression or the times or anything like that? Like, no, I think it's just fucking blue. I think it's just blue. Do you think that wearing red makes him a communist? I think he just likes the color red. I think he just likes the color red.
Back in the real world, communism was also strongly associated with red, being known as the Red Threat, the Red Scare, the Red Terror.
He's a communist. He wears red. He just happens to be born blue. You're so right. Sonic's the communist.
Then there's Fireflower Mario, clad all in red and white. If he wasn't sporting the communist colors before, he certainly is now the red and white of
It's red because of Fireflower.
But it's not just his colors. Check out the hat. Is it a coincidence that Mario's hat just so happens to sport a similar shape and, more strangely, a similar design as communism's most infamous leader?
The hat looks nothing like that. It looks nothing like that. Hold on, I'm trying to like go frame by frame here. Yeah, no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, I can see it with like the brim, but really that's about it.
Infamous leader? Perhaps. I mean, it is a bit odd that Mario's hat and Stalin's both have a circle in the front with a signature logo, but we can pass that off as happenstance. How about that facial hair, though? Is it also a coincidence that Mario's mustache looks like it was directly ripped off the face of someone in contention for the world's most evil man?
Again, they look nothing alike.
Agree, a good mustache is half the uniform. Mario is mustache approved. And while we're looking at character design, let's not forget one of the recurring villains.
Oh my god,
of the Mario franchise.
Wario! How does he fit in?
Wario was created as the anti-Mario, am I right?
I mean, I guess it would make sense. He's a capitalist, yes.
Wario is known
Wario has
for
money.
10 feet tall. Shut up. Being fat and being greedy. He's a walking American stereotype, an overweight capitalist pig who eats way too much and loves money.
Damn, maybe this video is actually more based than I thought it would be. Maybe this is actually more based than I thought it would be. I mean, yes, I definitely see Wario as an American capitalist. I definitely see that.
Just look at his games. They're all about collecting treasure, accumulating coins, gaining more wealth. Even
that game always looked neat. WarioWare Shake
the
It?
better endings get you bigger
Or, wait, no, that's not WarioWare. That's Wario Land.
Material wealth is
I'm gonna try that game someday.
Apple pie. Wario's the bougie fat cat counterpoint to our proletariat plumber. And let's look at that for a second, shall we? What is Mario exactly? A plumber who started off as a carpenter, both working class, physical labor positions that define members of the Communist Party. Remember, this was a political movement responding to the mistreatment of the working class by the exclusionary upper classes, meaning that blue-collar Mario
I don't know what either of those games are.
Perfectly. And while we're looking at Mario's proletariat predilection, what's his signature weapon again? Oh, that's right. Hammers. Need I say more? If only Magus appeared in these games, then we'd have the complete communist toolkit. But that's not all.
I was gonna say, like, why is Magus brought up? Oh, it's because he has a scythe. I guess. Wait, so are Green Reapers also communists? Cause they have scythes. They're in video games, like Castlevania. Are they also communists? Damn. I'm learning a lot today about communism.
All dear theorists, what's the goal of Super Mario Brothers? To overthrow a king, King Koopa. And what was the role of the Russian Revolution? To overthrow a king, Tsar Nicholas II. And what do you do at the end of every level in Mario? Rip down a flag. At the end of every level, Mario tears down a flag to raise his own.
It's not really ripped off if it's still there, but
no,
yeah, I
not
guess.
A Macy's takeover, my friends. That's Mario raising the symbol of his Soviet brethren. Along with the hammer and sickle, the red star was the other emblem of the Communist Party, specifically of the Red Army, with the 5 points of the star meant to represent the 5 fingers of the Communist worker's hand. And what's on that flag Mario tears down? Is that a pixelated green peace sign? So according to Mario, it's down with peace and up with the people. The people's Mario.
Wait, wait. I'm so... No, that's clearly a skull. It's a skull. It doesn't have, like, the third, like, line going down. That's not the peace sign. Boy, I sure hope MatPat got fired for that blunder.
Pixelated green peace sign? So according to Mario, it's down with peace and up with the people. The people's Mario. But let's take a break from communism for a second, shall we, and look at the rest of the game.
Yeah, sure,
Speculation
please.
has always
Please go
gone
on.
about the mushrooms Mario uses. It's a bizarre power-up, right? Well, wonder no more. I give you the Mario mushroom, Amanita muscaria, the fly Amanita. Look familiar? Not only does it look like Mario's mushrooms, it acts like them too, as this poisonous mushroom has been used throughout history for its ability to cause hallucinations. And you know where in the world it's found?
Isn't it Russia?
Syria, aka the eastern half of Mother Russia.
My
Seriously,
God!
if you're
What is
still
with the ass shots? God, old game theory was horny as hell. Like the Samus and Peach fan art, the Sonic sexing with Peach in that one bit the last video. Oh my God, old game theory was so horny, like unrelentlessly, like goddamn.
Mario's loyalty, stop to consider the development of the game. If Super Mario were developed in America, there would be no chance of any sort of communist leanings. But as we all know, Nintendo is located in Japan, and while Japan may not
What
be
is that
a
art?
state,
What is
the
that?
Japanese Communist Party has been a
Why
strong
was old
presence
game
in their
theory so
elections since
horny?
the 1950s. In fact, it was at its strongest in the 1970s and 80s, when Mario games were first being developed. Of the nearly 50 million votes cast in any given election during that time, well over 5 million, or 10%, go to the Japanese Communist Party. Is it then so difficult to believe that one, maybe two of the people involved in the development of the game could have subtly worked in some of their political beliefs? All it takes is one. And you know what they say.
God,
Soviet
and they
Russia,
say,
you don't
and they
play
say that
Mario games,
politics don't belong in
Mario
video
games.
games. Mario was always
But
political.
hey, it's just... Hold on a sec. Seriously? Mario is communist. Come on! The green peace sign Mario tears down? Clearly it's a skull. If it was
Yeah,
meant
that's what
to
I
be a
was
peace
saying.
sign, there would be one more green pixel at the bottom on either side to complete the round look. And while yes, Mario may be overthrowing King Koopa, he's also
Do you
instigating
think that-
another aristocracy. This one supervised
Wait,
by a
is he-
mentally unstable princess in pink. Not
What is your problem with Peach? Why are you calling Peach unstable? What the fuck did she ever do to you? Guys, we have a lot of game theory to catch up on. We need to catch up on the lore of why he thinks that Peach is unstable. What the fuck did Peach ever do?
much of a
God forbid
people's
women have
plumber
fun.
there, huh, Jumpman? Regardless, though, it makes you question, right? So, is Mario communist? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I'll leave that for you to debate. But from the mushrooms, to his enemies, to the design of the character, to Japanese political history, it's definitely not as ridiculous as it might initially sound. But in the end, it's just a theory. A game theory. Nostrovia. Welcome back to the Super...
Oh my, okay, the fucking, screw attack logo jump scare at the end. Goddamn. Well, folks. We've been at this for 3 hours. I feel like this might be a good place to end things. Oh, okay. Let's go to, like, a more chill soundtrack. Maybe. That's not that much better. Hold on. I put it on Undertale music because I thought it'd be fitting. Yeah, let's just do the Sonic music again. Yeah, this is fine. So, that was some old game theory videos. One of them was more recent, but yeah, there was a lot to pause and talk about. This was a lot of fun. My question is, would you folks be interested in me doing this again with more game theory videos? Because I know that people wanted me to look at the FNAF ones, but frankly, I feel like it wouldn't be right to watch those without Vicky in chat. So I will probably say that for another day if you folks do want me to do another one of these. Because I thought this is actually pretty fun. Just looking back and seeing how unhinged old Matt Pet videos were. I feel like when it comes to FNAF stuff, I might be a bit lost. So I'm a little iffy on that. But hey, I'm down to do this again because y'all have said some fun little suggestions with the Hoonie Pop one. So I am curious about that. I really want to look at like the Zelda timeline one too, because that also sounds like it's going to be interesting. I would love it. Yeah. I was a bit worried because I thought people were mostly silent because they weren't really into it. But if you folks want me to do another one of these in the future, then yeah, we'll do another one of these. And if you folks have other suggestions for stuff for me to like do reaction videos to, definitely let me know in the Discord. I might have a new channel dedicated to just having video suggestions, just for stuff that might be worth looking at. I do have some ideas of what would make for like an entertaining stream, like looking at old Sonic videos on YouTube, stuff like that one Sonic fan movie, or the or the Naza one. That would be sick. That would be sick. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming by today. Let me look at who we could raid. Ghost's Raccoon is doing some art right now. This is a new friend that we could raid for sure. Oh, I forgot to mention at the start of the stream, but we do have hashtags now on socials. So on Twitter and Blue Sky, I now have an art tag that I just kind of made. Of course, you folks don't have to do it if you do fan art, but we have hashtag Bestie arts for normal fan art, and Breasty arts for the stuff that's a bit more spicy. I know. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid Ghost Raccoon. What am I doing tomorrow again? I forgot my own schedule. It should be in there. Hold on. Tomorrow. Oh right, we're gonna be doing Chrono Trigger. I forgot that today was Tuesday. If I'm gonna be honest, I thought today was Monday for a second, but no. Today was Game Theory Tuesday. So yeah, tomorrow we're gonna be wrapping up some side quests in Chrono Trigger on the DS. It's gonna do stuff with Magus, I think. I think that's the only side quest that we have left to do before we do the final boss in that. So that should be fun. We'll get them when we get there. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid Ghost's Raccoon. Thank you folks so much for stopping by today. I love you besties and breasties so much. And remember, it's all just a theory. A gay theory. Thanks for watching. Bye.